The October roller coaster continuing with North American stock futures back in negative territory once again this morning, coming off an impressive bounce back yesterday following two consecutive big down days. We are off the lows here in the pre-market, but still back in negative territory. Concerns over rising rates, higher inflation, still affecting some tech and growth stocks, lingering concerns over those two in the background. We had the ADP employment report out this morning, actually better than expected there at 8:15, which did help push this market back to the upside. Travel stocks back under pressure once again this morning. Some of the airlines getting downgraded by Goldman Sachs. We'll have a look at a few of those. And better than expected manufacturing data out yesterday as well. Also added some positivity on the sentiment side, helping to lift the market after, again, two big down days. Palantir shares in a big way moving higher this morning after yet another U.S. Army contract. We'll have a look at Palantir, and NVIDIA as well led the rally for the chip makers yesterday. We're back in negative territory this morning. They've made some concessions to try and push that acquisition of ARM through a little bit faster. It's Wednesday, October 6, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, nice bounce. As I mentioned, they're off the lows. We were down more than a full percent for all three U.S. markets early on. 0.8 now for the S&P and the Dow, 1% for the NASDAQ, about 1.4 there for Brazil, already open, trading in negative territory. You can see Bitcoin to the upside this morning. Ethereum, yeah, I just saw coming off of that 3,500 level once again this morning, down about 2% so far. But going to be interesting for cryptocurrencies again. It seems like Bitcoin guys leading the way. Good morning. It is going to be an interesting one here this morning. As we said, the roller coaster continuing so far in October. We were down, then we're up, now we're back down again. But as I said, kind of bouncing a little bit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the roller coaster, that's the best way to put it. And, you know, like it's all you wanted to see yesterday, we were talking about this in the afternoon shows, all we wanted to see is a close. Just close on the highs, man. Like, would have been nice to see it happen. Of course, it hasn't. So you're going to come in. And what's interesting about this morning, and welcome everybody tuning in, is it's not just that, you know, NASDAQ's down 1%, looking at some of the tech names down, but, and we'll go over this in our watch list, but some of the steel names are, like USL's down 5%, Nucor's down 3%, and I'm looking across the board, and it's just another one of those widespread down days. Thankfully, there is plenty of volatility in the market for the first couple of days of October, and as short-term traders, that's what we do look for. That will make for some exciting opportunities for us as we navigate in live trade today here, Sean, but you know, it is what it is. It was just one of those situations where you wanted to see us end on a little bit of strength. We did not. And yeah, it just seems like any excuse to sell is what we're looking for right now in the overall market. And we have another one of those days. I was looking for some potential, like, you know, dip buys, and like every single place I looked was like, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And finally, it's been a while since I day traded Virgin Galactic. I actually think I will be trading that one today.
No, oh, will be.
Will, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Virgin Galactic, a good name to look at today. Well, to look at. I mean, it's a great day trading name, that's for sure. I don't even look at the pre-market action on that name, so I can't comment too much.
It's more the level.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, we'll look at that anyways. CEI is going to be in play, and then guys, like, come on, let's hit the cowbell. It's Palantir time again, up another 7%, and I up another 7%. I mean, it's been a while since we've been up that much there. What happened?
There's no hat.
Oh yeah, my investor. Oh yeah, I forget. Well, maybe I won't bring it anymore. I mean, that's a good sign. We're up 7% today. Yeah, I wore it to the Jays game, and we forgot to bring it back. Oh, man, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, but so Palantir, anyways, I tweeted out. It's right in here. They got a new Army contract. And then yesterday, I actually don't even have, look at this move. So you think this is a good move? $23, bang, yeah, it's going upside. But I don't even have the right timing on here. If I go to, actually, no, our charts won't show it, actually. Look where we went, because it doesn't show past 4:30. Yesterday, we went to $26.50 at 5:30 yesterday for Palantir off of a 23 bottom. So straight up $3 on 20. You know, that's a nice return right there. And I tweeted out that it's time to get into some more Palantir. So that's what I did. And you're going to get this because we went in and out of Facebook. I just sold some Facebook right now at 3:30. So we take the $5 from Facebook and we put that into Palantir. And we bought some more Palantir right now, like 20 minutes ago. We bought some Palantir. We just did the whole switcheroo. We got out of Facebook. That was, mistake or not, we made money on it. I think we could still probably hold Facebook. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. I feel like I could save all this for the show. This is supposed to be the intro, but we sold some Facebook. We bought some Palantir. We rotated back into Palantir here, bought some more shares. We were waiting for more dips, Brendan, but that $23 came and went, so now I have to pay $24.80. But we're upside now to 25 on Palantir. I like it.
Once again, as we've seen multiple times overnight, announcing another contract. We'll get to Palantir here. News on Cassava Sciences, guys. Sava just with a big pop there. They've initiated a second phase 3 study on their Simuflam, which is their Alzheimer's treatment with 1,000 patients this time. So again, this is the second phase 3 study for this drug. 7% here, just went 56 to 62 for Cassava Sciences. We'll talk about that one coming up here as well. Before we do, let's get over and say good morning to Miss V.
All a wonderful day. Please enjoy your trading, enjoy the show, and don't forget to smash the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's have a look here, guys, at SAVA, one that we talked about, that epic fall from grace. It bottomed out, I guess, down around, what was it, 40 down here. But here we go, back to the upside. Potential positivity for Cassava Sciences.
Yeah.
Look,
go ahead.
And don't get me wrong. Like, we always say this in every single time, whether it's a pharmaceutical company with a certain drug, and it's like, I absolutely hope that everything goes fantastically for Cassava Sciences. Like, let's be perfectly honest about that. Certainly, no one ever wants to bet against that kind of thing. But the daily chart sort of speaks for itself in terms of just how volatile and how risky it is to play into these and believe in some of these pops. And it's probably had the worst of these flushes seem like they're done, but the overall trend has sort of remained the same. Now, I put on my 200 period chart, moving average on my daily chart. You're not going to care about that here in Sava, but there's some stocks that we're going to actually care about it in the upcoming days and weeks, I think. And I just feel like I play a lot better in this stock going to the south side of the trade. And I look back into where we went last time and got up to that 70 level, and it's going to look pretty ugly. In terms of, I will say, the overall execution, but it had this huge bump in pre-market to 69 and then immediately faded it back in. And then when it really climbed the following day on the news, it turned around at that 70 mark. So I kind of feel I'm not supremely confident in shorting anything unless it's at 70. All of that being said, there was multi-day resistance here at 63. That is a good, 5% from here, which you maybe get like a 60 to like that 63 on a failed break, or even on a jailbreak at 60, which might, I guess, stop some people out. And it's not that I have it's not that I don't want to go long, but I so badly misread the long, trying to catch a falling sword on the dip day when the down momentum instead of playing the breakout, that if I don't have the initial move long in Sava, I just want to sit it out, right? So after what happened the last time, it's true. Like I missed the breakout on Sava when I had the news, and then I bought the dip thinking it would have support. Did not have the read on it. Well, you'll see. I bought it, stopped out. The next day, it did the breakout trade, and all I was doing was shorting into it. Eventually, got some good shorts, but for me on Cassava Sciences, we'll stick to what we do best, and that's finding the levels to the upside. 63 is first, and then 70 is there. And until we get to those prices, I have no problem being patient with Cassava Sciences, but it's almost always a fade unless you catch the initial breakout. And that doesn't have to mean that you get this in the beginning of the news, because simply breaking through yesterday's highs, $1 into the move would have worked as well. But as you can see, you'd still be in the money actually, $1, $1.50 if you had that break. But we don't have it, or I don't have it here, so there's no point chasing it. I'm not going to be trying to buy the dip on Cassava Sciences, which I kind of feel is coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even it's bouncing around here pretty violently right now. I mean, you're up and down 1 or 2% here, back and forth as it goes. So I think you just watch the price action. Neil just covered some levels, so let's not dwell on this too much. But Cassava Science is definitely going to be in play here as volume's starting to pick up. Good news story. We'll see where it goes. 61.50. I mean, you take out the top, that's always going to be a nice play on Sava. So we'll wait for that. But Neil just talked about the levels, so let's move on. And it should be a good day trade. I expect us to be in this.
The big one yesterday, guys, CEI, Camber Energy, monster volume after a short seller report late in the afternoon, cut this thing in half. I mean, multiple halts to the downside. We're opening just above $1 here this morning, but pushing back towards those lows from yesterday, late in the day yesterday. Very active again, already, 5-6 million shares traded.
That was.
What was the name?
Yeah, we're talking about Camber again.
Yes, sir.
So you have to say $1, and it's not. This isn't even the whole. Okay, every single stock that retraces to $1, that's a key level because it's a psychological level. That's almost always true when you're day trading, and not often true is what I should probably say. But yesterday, legitimately, and I apologize for the executions, but I don't usually like taking them off so you can see what we're doing here. But I was shotgunning a lot of executions on Camber, but it did stall out at 103. Twice it bounced in front of $1. The first halt it bounced at 106, and the second halt it bounced at 103. So I'd anticipate if we have further downplay here, that $1 has some support. Just remember, it's already been tested and given some good bounces. Like it bounced all the way to 170. So you've already had a significant bounce off that $1 level. I would expect if it goes down there and bounces again, it's not going to have as strong of a move. Now, whether that means it tops out at 130, 140, 150, I would first be guessing that 130 to 140 level, which we have the pre-market levels at, which we closed at. Which we got to in the aftermarket, I should say, because it's flushed in the aftermarket. So I would look for those to be the first resistance, but I'll take a shot at this probably in like the 1-2 range, as long as there's some size on that little bid that we can play around with on $1. I think it's a fade up until the 150 had a good seller we were talking about right at the end of the show, so I think it would be a fade at those levels. The 130 is a little bit too close to call. I'd rather play it off of the open and see if it does do that little 930 pop and fade trade. Then you'd use the high in the pre-market, which sits at that 140. So I know it's a lot to sort of chew, but I like a 930 pop and fade, and that would be off the pre-market high. That's one way to play into it, unless you're scalping, basically playing the spread over and over again. You got to have some setups that you like. And the other one is like, let's see it bounce off $1. If it goes all the way down to $1, I want to see any kind of a bid there, and then I would take 1s and 2s and see how far it can bounce.
People talking about SDC as well. Whoa, I didn't realize. Oh, that's yesterday, up 15%. Yeah, not today. Up 15%. Okay, so yeah, CEI, you have my trades right here. Yesterday I made 2 trades. Unfortunately, we didn't touch it earlier in the morning, but we did in the afternoon. We came back here, we were interviewing. We're gonna hopefully, we'll see if we welcome a new member through today to the team. And look at these bottom marks here. We waited for it to settle down. It just so many halts. That's the thing about Camber when you're a $1.24 name and you're going to be halting every 10%. That's going to happen often. So it was halting all over the place. I think that's incorrect. The SEC, in my opinion, needs to look into that. But we did one long there at 17, rode it all the way up to 147, waited for it to come through again, hit it again at the exact same price, 117, and then hit that all the way. That's an out there, 170, and then we got out at 170. Then we went short again on a 150 break and covered that at 138. So yesterday, was a pretty big day for me. We exploded some cash on that one for Camber. A few trades. Neil was scalping it like crazy. And then today, I look for basically, this is just today's chart, so here we are. So I'm looking for the same kind of formation again. If we can get, I put down a low bid. Like right now I'm bidding 107. I know that's super low. I just wonder if we get a flush into there. I think we can start to build a position in the teens again. And then, some of this upside, I don't want to short this name. I know there are going to be levels where shorts are going to come into play, so there's no doubt about that. But I'm kind of looking for a 150 break one more time to the upside. And to be more specific, we could even try in here. What is this? Let's zoom in quickly just to see, because I do want to go long at some point. What is this level? 156. So yeah, 155. I think this 155, you got to get through a lot of this. 155, go to the long. Otherwise, we'll defend the long down here in the teens. But Camber Energy needs to be traded today if you're a scalper. And we'll see where it goes. But started in the teens, build it to 1, breaks 1, we gone. And we'll give back a little bit of the money that we made yesterday. But I love the name, and you got to trade where the action is, Brendo.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I said 6 million. It's almost 10 already. 10 million shares traded here at 8.44 in the pre-market. Tesla, guys, worth mentioning here. We learned about this lawsuit aftermarket yesterday. Down in the pre-market here, only 0.9%, but below some levels here from the past couple of days. This 775, 780 has been definite support. The company ordered to pay 137 million in this settlement. Yeah.
So look, I'm not gonna. We were talking a little bit about the settlement before we came on air, and it's not to even get into it too much or what you think about it. The fact of the matter is, The delivery story is probably a bigger one at this particular point, and there might be some fallout for Tesla, but suffice to say, I don't think it's going to be a gigantic story like the way in which what their employees do and do not have to sign when they first come to the company. That's the kind of thing that might end up changing here. I don't think that's going to move the stock price. It's still showing some signs of relative strength. Although we are down exactly what the market happens to be. Remember on, I guess it would have been on Monday, Tesla was showing relative strength because of that, I guess not blowout, but certainly surprise deliveries number. And the fact that we're sitting right on the precipice of that, I like this turnaround point at 760 a little bit more than some of that key area, that 780 that has already been broken now. So I kind of look at, and they say turnaround point because here's your resistance in front of it, and then we had a nice consolidation break, and then we've been basically holding out above that range, for the last week of September, and then in early October, even during this weakness, guys. So I like that for a support, and if we dip down to 760, I think there's a shot to buy it down there. It's one of the closer names, I would say, to that price. $15 isn't a heck of a lot for Tesla to come down. And if it pops up, if Tesla shows some strength, I'm kind of going back to the well with an old number that I always liked, and it's right around that 787 mark, usually 787 to 790. And you can see, we've broken above it a couple of times, but all the lower highs seem to try to get put in that range. And this is another, $15 top to bottom. I don't like it in the middle. $15 up, I think that's where I would start thinking about a short position. And then $15 down is where I would like to be thinking about that long in front of that 760 area. So that's the game plan for me on Tesla. No breakout trade or anything like that. This news doesn't have me wanting to jump into it in the pre-market. I think overall, it's a story, obviously, but I don't think that's the driver of the stock price. The market in general and how the EV names tend to react today is going to be a big one. Of course, GM has their investor day, so ears to the ground for them to have some news, and they're a little relatively strong for now, although they've run up into that, so I'd watch out.
Yeah, you got yeah, exactly. And we always say that this is the thing that I always screw up: buy the rumor, sell the news. So there, I didn't screw it up that time at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Tesla. Again, Neil's just killing all these levels for me. So, look, it's been super strong. I'll just talk about, the base for the stock. So it's been super strong. We've been going up. I mean, people have been saying, wow, the NASDAQ's been falling. And Tesla's sort of like, that infamous hold my beer comment, because they're just going straight to the upside here. They continue to make moves. The last couple days, not much happening, but the market's been a roller coaster like Brendan started the show talking about. But when you see this kind of happening with Tesla and the market is below its 50-period moving average and Tesla's well above it right now, I mean, you got to go back down to 730 to get to some of these levels. When you look at stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, some of the stocks that we equate. I mean, we don't equate anything with Tesla really, but the big tech companies, Tesla's leading the way right now. They're above this. You look at NVIDIA, you look at AMD. So anyways, I just think that, if you're going to be a Tesla bull, you pick up any dip. And today's going to be a dip. You're down that 1%. The market's down 1%. You have a nice opportunity here to buy some Tesla. I mean, just look at the 20-minute here. You're coming back into these levels, 765 or so. We touched 800 yesterday. I just think it's a winner. I can't see Tesla doing much wrong here, and continues to work, continues to win. I like Tesla, and I just think you buy it up at any dip level, any level you're comfortable with. If you do think there's a flush coming in the market, stay away. But that hasn't worked well for you in the last 2 months on Tesla, right? So let's just, buy dips on this name, keep it strong, keep it in your portfolio. There's no way in hell I'm selling any Tesla shares.
All right, more of a macro kind of idea, guys. We've been talking over one of the reasons we've had a bit of a roller coaster over the past couple of weeks is this lingering debt issue in the U.S. and the inability for the government, so far anyways, to raise the debt ceiling. Really interesting article this morning in, this is, let me double check here, Brookings, my bad, brookings.edu. How worried should we be about the debt ceiling, guys? This was out this morning as well. The White House set to meet with JP Morgan, Intel, Bank of America, Citi, Raytheon, NASDAQ, Deloitte CEOs on Wednesday to have a discussion about this same topic. Again, not really company related here, but something that's kind of lingering in the background that we have to be aware of. If anything comes from said meeting today, we could get a bit of a move in the market.
Look, that's absolutely true. I've said from the entire time, they're not gonna default. They never do. It always gets played out like this. I don't know why it has to be this way, but it's just
always. I mean, they always resolve it.
They do.
And we go yada yada yada. And we
maybe Sean, they should just mint the $1 trillion coin, which That went from like a gag in The Simpsons to now like an actual loophole, which gets bandied about, which, again, I find that kind of amusing, and that's why you see me sort of chuckling about it, and I guess I know it's very serious. Because were they to look, if they were to default, they would be really, really bad. Like
They've been downgraded before.
I know, there's like an actual default would be doom and gloom, but it's just not going to happen. So you want to see like maybe some positive news is going to probably help the market, especially if we're in the midst of like, let's say this extends from 1% down to like 2%, 2.5%. And then you get a positive headline. Like that could be the kind of thing that gives us a temp bottom, right? Now, I'm only pulling up the ES here because you do have a multi-day low here. And look, Arun's going to talk about the futures levels way better than I am. But all I will say is, imagine a scenario where you drop into a support level on the ES or even on the NASDAQ, and then suddenly we get a positive headline when it comes to the potential of an agreement here or a resolution. I think that's the kind of thing that could spur a turn in the market. I think inevitably we're getting that headline at some point. I just can't see any way they default. It just doesn't happen.
I was gonna say, just don't worry about it. Have you said multi-day highs or something? Multivitamins, you can have those as well. We'll support Kirkland.
I probably need one.
Always buy some Costco stock on the way down there. We will talk about BTBT when we come back. Can't believe that's testing 1140 here today as Bitcoin's 52.5, Lucas, 52.5 USDs right now. So probably like 65, 66 Canadian, if not a little bit more than that. As you're seeing right now, we took BTBT yesterday on this break of 10 and ran this all the way to the top 1040 there. Good. That was a good trade late day there. Join us at 3 o'clock when we come back. But now BTBT getting accelerated one more time to the top side. So I'll do a big congratulations and hit the cowbell for anybody that's been long there on BTBT. Man, you guys absolutely nailed this. And that Shiba Inu there, Shiba Inu has just been going crazy right now. I'm actually up 300%, Brendan, on that name, but I only put in $500. So still, maybe I'll just cash it out and buy some Christmas presents. What say you, Brendo?
300% in what, 3 days?
Yeah, maybe a little bit less. I bought on the weekend, so what day is it today?
Wednesday-ish?
Yeah, 3 days. Good call. Yeah, crazy.
Not bad at all.
Crazy.
Upgrades and downgrades for today, guys. I mean, that is the upgrade side. Take your pick. American Airlines over here, HP as well. We had earnings recently for HP. The airline, speaking of roller coasters, one day up, one day down. We had a bunch getting an upgrade earlier in the week, but American guys back on that side today.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the travel names are actually, CCL is down like 1.6. Norwegian was down despite the fact that they had some positive, well, I would say positive news because they're like, our whole fleet was going to be back online. I think they said April 1st. None of that really matters because overall the market's moving in unison. And like I said, today is one of those mornings where you kind of come in here and everything wants to come to the downside. AEL in particular, I'm glad that at least that one's on its list. And just like the ES chart that we're showing, right? Like if you're going to have sort of like like multi-day levels on the broad market, that's the S&P, you're going to look at the same thing on many stocks, I should say. And 48 is going to stand out. It's been broken a couple of times here, but 48 stands out for American Airlines. Caveat, done no volume pre-market. Absolutely, I mean, I want to say 0 shares, but it's like 15,000, so it actually has done volume. For breakout to breakdown trades, you want there to be a volume off some of these levels when they go, unless it's just an absolute flush out level, which I'll get to when we talk about Virgin Galactic. But I do want to tell you guys, Voyager, I am out of it, so I want to at least go over, because someone asked her, like, why do you like this one for the short on the pop when it's at the all-time lows? I don't care too much when something is at the all-time lows. It's always about one of these things that I want. And look at where it tried to turn. It actually turned at 380 at 7 a.m. when the retail came in, and then went to the downside. And if it fails at a price like that, which was a double top here and a bit of a pivot area here on the daily chart, when it turns and rejects a level like that, I'm shorting that next consolidation and then shorting it to the high. And that's basically a setup which has worked about 7 to 8 times out of 10. The only mistake I made today was getting in too early, so I started to position sub 60 instead of actually waiting for a better price. So probably lost a few extra shekels in that regard, but that's just a setup I have almost every single time if you follow the show. So you can almost predict when I'm going to be in one of those.
Yeah, I was still looking at BTBT here, but you do have CCL yesterday. We traded. We're talking a little bit about the travel sector right now. Back up to 25 and change. We looked at 26 yesterday. Hopefully, don't know where the trades are in here. Yeah, there's that bid we had yesterday and a nice little run all the way to the upside. We took it early, 25.30, ran up to 26. That's the level that we had on our sticky note, 26 even. It held out, and you could have shorted that and just basically made your whole day either on this long or that short. So we come in today, and we're looking at the same thing again. We just touched 24.80. I think you can actually short right now into this, 25.50. So we get any love back here, 25.50 on CCL. I believe it's going to be a short. The ES and the NASDAQ both down now 1%. And the NASDAQ's starting to pick up a little bit to the downside one more time. Palantir's starting to fall. We're going to spend most of our time looking at Palantir. I have a very, very small position just to watch it, but we'll talk about Palantir as it's coming. Here it comes down now. I mean, right now the market is coming to the downside. This is very, very small, but we're coming into a spot where we should probably be buying 24.60, 24.50. Like I said, we did put a new position on, not a new position, but added to our position a decent amount of shares here because we had some cash on the sideline. So we bought it at 24.65 or 75. I don't know where it was. It was just before we came on air anyways. In this area, maybe 24, yeah, 75, 76, something like that. So we're right back into that area now. It's not going to matter the pennies, but right into these teeth right now, I think this is worth buying some Palantir on this dip. I'm going to average in to this position, guys. I'll be focused a lot on Palantir today. But that CCL, just to let you guys know, because we were talking about it, and I always think there's good trades here in CCL. So right here, you're into some of these bottoms, 24.50, 24 and change. But at the same time, these tops held. So, you know, looking at 25.50 for the short. So CCL is going to bounce around in here. Let's see if it touches one of these extremes, and we'll go from there. Just like yesterday, we saw 26. We could see that again, but I think it's going to be 25.50. So we could rally up to 25.50 before fading back into this area one more time. So CCL's not on the watch list because there's really no specific news, but we will watch it for price action, Brendo.
Recent high flyer here, PALT, PAL Talk, guys, with a headline. This is actually smaller than I would expect, but out this morning with a $50 million offering. That's value, not shares. So down a bit here for PALT, 12% for PALT. We'll maybe have a look at that when volume does pick up. For now, let's check out what else is moving around in the pre-market. If you're looking for the morning watch list, that is the link you need. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you are looking for that. All you need is an email address, absolutely free, guys, every single day for the morning watch list. Let's talk Palantir Technologies, $823 million U.S. Army contract awarded to Palantir. This was going back to 2020, so they, I guess, applied for this along with a bunch of other companies back in 2020. It's taken this long for them to come up with the winner, which is PLTR, Sean.
Yeah. No surprise to me there. I think they're just going to keep. When I saw the contract, I didn't even think it was that big. It's $820 million, but it's one of those contracts that, of course, just solidifies them in the space, right? And they're continuing. Neil was mentioning about small businesses as well. So that's going to be a rally for them, not just these huge contracts with government agencies and whatnot. But, you know, if they can get, it's data, right? It's data. It's looking at that. It's analyzing data. It's trying to find out. I mean, this is how you can use it for customers as well. It's kind of like, you know, there's a Salesforce aspect. There's, you know, there's lots of stuff into Palantir. I like it for a longer term play. I've been talking about this stock for obviously for a while, as I just think it's not even a new company, right? They're 18 years old. They've been around for a very long time. They have that, hopefully, trust in the industry. They've recently made deals in England. They have border security deals now with the U.S. Army. They have other deals with the U.S. Army as well, Navy, military, everything. So, I mean, they have their feet, in my opinion, and their teeth in the right businesses with the right people. And I mean, I was waiting. Look, truth be told, I still think this could fall. I mean, this is a great story. Don't get me wrong. I love Palantir, and I want to buy more of it. But at the same time, I'm still a little bit sad. Obviously, we didn't get any yesterday or when we were down by 23.15, 23.20. So we do have to pay up that extra $1 today, which is a lot on $25. I mean, it's not. That's why we don't want to put our maximum position on here. But I still think we could eventually fall into here. But the good thing about Palantir is we're right at the 50-period moving average, and we're crossing it right now, and that's always a go sign for me. You guys know that. And then, do we see 29 again? Yeah, we do. I mean, I just think it's going to take probably. I still wonder about what October is going to bring, so I'm going to think that we come back here for December. I think there's going to be a big rally in November, and if there is, that's true. I think there's going to be a rip-your-face-off rally. Palantir easily takes this out and travels back into here, into the mid-30s, where you may want to start to trim some of this off. So, look, if you're long Palantir right now, I don't think you have too much to worry about unless this 21 breaks, and at that point, you lose $3 on 20. So, you're going to be down a little bit of money there if that breaks about 10, 15%. I think there's way more upside to that. So we're going to be long on Palantir here. I love the name. We've loved it for a long time. And then wait till you get the tweet or something from ARK, right? That says, yep, here we go. Bought another 500 million shares, or that's a joke, but bought another something like that into Palantir. I don't know. I'll speak to Aunt Kathy later after the show and find out. But right now, I think Palantir is on its way back up.
Yeah, like it's already pulled back so far from its highs that you kind of think about it. Anything that's pulled back this far, you think about it a little bit differently. Now, as Sean mentioned, they get big, massive government contracts all the time. I think this frees them up to focus on what will be higher margin down the road, which is going to be some of those smaller, integrated smaller businesses. They've gone an opposite approach because most companies start small and work their way up big. But all of their products are integrated more easily into large corporations and government contracts. And the second you get a couple of headlines that they're working their way down the stream successfully, potentially with even a new product, that's a headline that'll be a bigger headline buy. Today, I think it's probably getting a little bit of extra extension because there's not much that's going to be strong in the market today. I like the 24. I looked at 23.90 to 24. This entire area to buy the dip in Palantir if it wants to come in, especially if the doom and gloom comes and we extend this move to the downside. Well, at least in this particular case, the strongest big cap stock that I can find, or larger cap stock I can even find anywhere, is where you'd be buying the dip. It's usually a safe place to go. So it's 23.90 to 24.40 for me on Palantir, and I don't have any levels that I like to short because I don't see it going to $29 today.
I just before I say anything, like Neil and I don't sit here. And first of all, thank you. I saw another member there update here. Thank you so much for being a member for 4 months, Mr. Shane D. What up, Shane? Yeah, good. Oh no, now I can't move this out of the way. Okay, there it is. I couldn't find the tab there. Look, we don't sit here and pump up stocks. I mean, it doesn't really matter what positions we're in or anything like that. We talk about positions that we hold in our longer term accounts, and we talk about the positions that we're day trading here. It just happens to be that a stock that I've been talking about since $11 bucks is now at 25 and up 8%, 7%. So, these are going to be names that we're going to talk about. Take the trade if you want to. I'm long Palantir. I believe in the name, and there's lots of names. And I tweeted that out earlier. I mentioned in our chat earlier. Like, what about XL Fleet? That's been a crap show for me. I mean, not really. More like PaySafe has been really a big problem. So there's lots of names here that we talk about that we hold that haven't been the greatest, right? So Palantir, I'm happy that it's moving in the right way, and we'll see. Yeah, sub 10. Yeah, that's right, Dan. I mean, I was, when this stock was $9, we were talking about it. You just rewind the tape, man. All the videos are out there. We're trying to keep it as real as we possibly can, and that's Palantir, and we are in right now to CEI. We just took a 15 bid, so here we go. Am I pumping up CEI right now? We are long 15 right now, and we're going to wait to see where it goes. I told you my bids are back here at 7, but I did want to take a shot in the teens, just like we did yesterday, and we're going to see. Hopefully, oh yeah, that's right. Now my trades aren't loading, but hopefully we can see the same thing again, and we go back to 25, and we'll scalp out 10 cents, and then we'll rinse and repeat this as much as we can. Brendo.
LMFA, guys, some crypto-related news. LM Funding America. This one pops up every once in a while. They're into Bitcoin mining here, so they've expanded their planned cryptocurrency mining business with the purchase of 4,000 additional miners. So heads up on LMFA, started to go there. Let's bring in Arun. Time for the futures. We're going to look at what we need to know today. Arun, what's up?
Well, here we go on a roller coaster ride. I've been saying this for a few days now, is this market does not want to get away from this 35-ish area. The reason being is the 100 DMA sitting there. So there's a lot of rotation happening around that price. We go a little bit too far, we come right back. Whether we get above or we get below, we come right back into that range. We need to expand out of either the top end or the bottom end for this market to actually get going. Otherwise, you are trading in a wide range around a major pivot area that kind of holds a lot of interest and a lot of volume for algorithm trading. So if you're trading around that area, it's very difficult to take trades that can go too far or can go far at all to make a decent amount of money. So expansion trades, breakout trades around those prices are tough to take. So you do have to treat it as a range. Just be aware that it's a wide range. So the bottom end of this range is around 49.60 or 42.60, it seems like. So just be aware that if we can get to the bottom, I think we kind of tested the elasticity of that price point, and then we kind of got through and we can actually keep on going. So 42.60 seems to be the price point that we need to get below. There's a chunk of volume on the buy side from 42.80 going on down. So just be aware there's a huge support base down in the 80s waiting. So we need to kind of get through that. It kind of helps the situation though. When you have that big of a base and you kind of get through that, then that whole area acts as resistance if we were to come back into that price point. So that's what I'm looking for. If we can get below 42.60, then we have a chance to kind of get to the downside. We are down just shy of 1% at the moment on both markets, on the NASDAQ and the ES. So if we can get through 42.60 on the bottom, I think we can really get going to the bottom. But given how much support is down there, I am opening the door for potential support bids, support longs. If we can get back into these low 90s, maybe high 80s, I'm opening the door for potential 25, 30 point risk profile for a long, try to see if I can try to get this move and catch the bid as we bounce back, if we were to bounce back. For now, it does look like we still have some sell side bias into the open, but that could change very quickly. We saw this yesterday in the market. It was quite aggressive for a few minutes and then it took off to the upside, right? That's the kind of activity you're going to get. And if we get that kind of setup today to the buy side, I think you have to take a shot and see if we can get back into the 30s, the 40s to the upside. Of course, if we go, then it seems like we can only get as high as 43.55, 43.60 before we come right back down. So to the upside, I'm marking off 4,400 as the expansion point. So if we can get above 4,400, which is 105 points from here, which is quite far. If we can get above that, I think then we may have tested the elasticity to the upside, which at what point we can actually expand. So quite wide range. Just be aware that it's a really wide range. And the reason there's rotation around a certain price point is because of the algorithms involved. Keep in mind, we have jobs reports coming out in about 2 days, right? So we could kind of keep doing this for a couple of days until we expand based on a volatility event on a morning when the volume's quiet as well on Friday. So just be aware that it's a range. If we can't expand today, you may just be stuck in this range until we get that jobs report.
Yeah, lots to consider. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow. 8:30 Friday morning, guys, we'll get the September employment non-farm payrolls number. Let's go to NVIDIA here. I just saw as well, guys, we talked about it yesterday a little bit, but 7-year high now today for crude oil, up again today. So energy stocks, throw that in your back pocket as well, XOM, CBX. NVIDIA yesterday led the rally for the chip makers to the downside this morning. I'm not sure how much of a big deal this is for NVIDIA. There wasn't a lot of details when it comes to the concessions, but they have reportedly been forced to make some concessions in regards to this ARM acquisition with UK regulators. So we were down here significantly, but trying to claw back for NVIDIA.
No, absolutely normal that they'd make concessions in a deal this big. The other storyline is they've moved a deadline for the ending of their review to, and I wrote it down so I actually wouldn't forget it, to the 27th. So I'd watch out for that date. Very likely that they're going to extend the overall review. So this is going to push into probably past their, I think, first quarter deadline for closing the deal. So, long story short, it would seem to me that if they get the deal done, which I'm kind of thinking they have a shot to get to happen here, and we've said this before, it might not be till maybe even second quarter of next year. So you might be waiting around for that a little bit. I still think it's going to be a positive catalyst if they get that deal done. The space is certainly growing. You have Global Foundries is going to be doing their IPO soon. That's who Intel was rumored to be buying, and they're like, heck no, we're not selling to you. We want to go public. So that's you're definitely going to have an advantage, and the consolidation in the industry is going to make a lot of sense, and that's why they need to get this deal done. But they don't have to. They absolutely don't have to. It's just going to be a very, very big positive for them. So I think the delay should drag it a little bit. I was looking to, ideally, I was looking to be able to short this stock today off of the 202 level. And it looks like we might get a chance to be able to do that. And look, we can't hold stuff overnight, but from top to bottom, it was a good break and a good short that just couldn't follow through in the afternoon until right at the last second at the end of the day. And I don't think we'll get a shot at 05s, 06s or that price area again today. I mean, I'd be ecstatic in the overall market if we got a chance to get to those levels again. But I'm now just looking back to what was this previous support area at 202 before the flush happened on Monday. It was a great break and sustained move on the long through there, but we have to put that behind us because today is a new day. So, I mean, long term, yeah, a positive catalyst might be further down the line for NVIDIA is what you should get out of that story. On the day trade, I think it's a fade in front of 202. If the market gets a massive rip your face off rally, or this is like a fake out to the downside, you don't want to get caught without a stop. But I can't want to be long this stock on the day trade, just sort of given that news, B, the fact that it was, I don't want to say overextended, but one of the stronger names. It was up twice what like AMD was, up like 4%. So it was relatively strong to the market. So if we come back in today, it will be one of the names I would look for to short. The same way I thought it was better long when the market bounced. I'm going to think that it's going to give you a bigger move on the short side of the trade. So looking for NVIDIA off 202. Someone asked me about that Virgin Galactic 22 break.
Oh, right,
it's plain and
right.
simple. Like it just 22 breaks, and I'll show the chart at some point. It's a 22 break. You pull up the daily or the 15-minute chart. It's it's going to stand out a little bit.
All right, I'm going to mark that down because I didn't even. Someone talked about that in the pre-market about Virgin Galactic, and we sort of forgot.
Yeah, there's no volume
to talk about it. Yeah, there's not. I mean, I don't know where the volume is right now. What time is it, anyways? 9:10. Okay. Hopefully the volume comes back in. The market's trying to figure out what to do here as Facebook breaks above 330. There, we sold at 329.85 out of our 325 even position. So we took $5 almost on that minus fees and all that kind of stuff. But fees is $5 a trade. That's nothing. Okay, so AMD yesterday, we had the trade yesterday early. You could see we banged it early at 130 there, 101.30, and then able to average in ahead of that 101 and got it at 101 even. We waited for 100 to break. That never happened, and then it just started to go to the upside where we cashed in AMD, one of my top stocks, because we got out right at the end of the day here at 102.38. So, that's a big dollar and change win for us at the end on AMD on the last 25% of it. We tried to hold. I know Neil held some NVIDIA there yesterday as well, and now you're coming down to AMD down to 100. So, I mean, this is a good level here. It's been holding. The only thing is, that's right, I can't show the daily chart. Let's look at the 20 minutes. So this is all you need to see anyways. It's been holding this $99. I mean, let's call it 100 even. The only problem is the NASDAQ's starting to bounce back up a little bit here today. And then Neil mentioned the NVIDIA news with ARM there. So AMD has Xilinx, so very similar thing as well. And so both down more right now today. Was NVIDIA? How much is NVIDIA down? Anyways, you have it.
It's 1.7.
Yeah, okay, so it's right. So they're both down more. I was going to say is this, that they're both down more than the NASDAQ, which for this sector, I don't like that because it's a booming sector, and I absolutely love the semis. So I don't know, a little bit nervous about taking any longs here, but we do have to watch this when it gets to 99. So we'll see if it comes back down. It's on my list to defend that 99 area.
4,000.
So I think we can put some bids down there. Yeah, Ethereum right now is ripping right now. It's not near 4,000, but it's getting closer. There's a big bump up there on Ether. So Ether to 35 and change right now. I mean, it really sucks because and again, am I pumping Cardano again? Cardano's not doing anything right now. So as you can see, here's ADA. So, okay, it's a nice bump right now from 270 to 219. That's 2 pennies. Look at the daily here on Cardano. Ever since they released smart contracts, it's been doing absolutely nothing. So here we go. So my money's stuck in a rut here. I mean, look, I own almost equally amounts of Ethereum and Cardano, but look at the daily there for Cardano not moving. Look at the daily for Ethereum. Starting to pop back up. We were just at 26, 27. Now you're up to 35. I think next stop is 4. We already talked about that. Then you take out the highs and Bob's your uncle and you'll wish you bought some Ethereum down here at 17. So let's wait to see where we go now. I don't think crypto's going absolutely anywhere. Yeah, I can just imagine. I see people on the chat now talking about BT.
1150.
I can just imagine that thing is booming as well. So we can watch BT. Yesterday, Neil and I talked about this. If you're here for the first time, welcome. But we aren't able to hold anything overnight. So we can't do that. And yesterday I was long. I was not going to show it on this chart, but yesterday we were long right here at 10, and now it's 11.50. So right there, we took this 10 break yesterday right here, and we ran this all the way up to 10.40, 10.50 right at the end of the day. And now you're seeing even more of a break. And it's no surprise because I just showed you Ethereum, right? We're breaking through now. We're starting to rocket now on Ethereum, man. 36 almost now. So up another $100. So that's what's happening. Crypto's going absolutely nuts. Congratulations to anybody that's holding anything in the crypto space. I would say do not sell now. This is a bull run. We're just getting started here. I think we touch new highs on both the big guys, Ethereum and Bitcoin, and it might happen sooner than you think.
And Bit Digital as well, apparently. BTBT. 43 million share free float on that one, guys. General Motors having their investor day today. Worth watching the stock. We do get some announcements, some news, some moves as a result sometimes during these events. But I mean, the chart's not much to look at here in the pre-market, guys. But their investor day, looking for more EV talk, more EV investment, things of that nature.
That's exactly what it is. GM's going the risky route of going fully electric instead of sort of playing the hybrid play. And look, it might make them more risky than a Ford, I suppose. But they've had some of the sustained relative strength in the last couple of weeks that Ford has had as well, and I guess Tesla has also had. So I'm watching a 53.65 is for support level. You're essentially seeing multi-day support at the beginning of the week and leading into this. They already bought it up, and it's been fading off 55 each time, but it keeps bouncing off the same level. So sell the news event. If that ends up happening, it's 53.65 that you're concerned with. And yeah, I'm talking a little bit fast through that because I kind of wanted to quickly just say with BTBT, which is approaching $12, by the way. I'm looking over here just to see we're getting towards, and I think we just touched past that 55,000 mark. If Bitcoin consolidates up there at 55 on this move, and you're coinciding with like an even number, maybe like a $12 on BTBT, which kind of feels like it could happen. That's where I'd look for like a scalp short. Now we had to pay for shorts on BTBT about 3 cents a share, so a reasonable price, but we did get some locates. Yeah, so I'm looking at this 12 level, but only in conjunction with, you'd want to see some kind of a turn. Like you don't want to be shorting one of these equities, which is moving more than Bitcoin, right? So outsized moves, and then all of a sudden you're getting a breakout through a key level and you're shorting at 12 because it's like, ooh, I can short 97s from a 12 and Bitcoin is running to like 56 or 57. That wouldn't make any sense. But as long as we're holding below this level or at least attempting to or consolidating, then that makes a little bit more sense here on BTBT, which is clearly off to the races.
Yeah, I just a quick note here as I tweet this out right now. Yeah, Facebook's probably ripping right now, but I'm fine. We switched over into Palantir. So we sold some Facebook shares into Palantir. I'm still hella long Facebook, man. I mean, I actually realized it became my #1 holding, and I definitely did not want that. Bitcoin 5-month high, Lucas, 54,000 USDs just crossing right now for Bitcoin. So all of us happy on that one. But we have been averaging into Palantir, and just as we said it, man, let's hit the cowbell one more time. Like, this is why we're trying to be as honest as we can. I sit here before the trade even happens and tell you that I'm sitting here waiting for this dip in Palantir. We get it, man. And now we're laughing. We're in the money 22 cents now on this trade. So we're going to be 2 for 2 here to start. The CEI trade is, we'll wait on that one. But we're all waiting on this. Palantir could be a loser. So this is 2 for 2 to start. We'll see if it breaks through 25. That didn't take long. There it goes, ripping and rocking right now upside. Let's get a little more out here at 25.13 or so. But this name just keeps on rocking. And here we go again with Palantir. Beautiful upside move today. I think there's a lot of potential in this company. And I hope that a lot of you are long this name with me, and if you're not, I still think you could buy it. I just did, so that's the name that I'm looking at here today, Palantir. A lot of my focus will be on that, but congratulations to the crypto space here. I'm super happy, man, and I can't, life is pretty good on this side when you're able to do what you love and bring this show to you and make a little bit of money on it as well. And when you're entering the matrix, that's pretty cool too. I like that graphic. Thank you, Mr. Rob.
Some of those levels that you said, multi-month high, you got to go back to May for Bitcoin. Another one making moves right now, guys, Facebook, trying to take out some highs in the pre-market or already has done so. We're getting back towards yesterday's levels on Facebook. Worth watching again today. We had the testimony in Washington yesterday from the whistleblower, Facebook whistleblower. The stock rallied multiple dollars while this testimony was happening. So not sure how much of effect this will have today on the stock, but it is active, more active than usual in the pre-market, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I actually was sitting here looking at this rally. I didn't want Facebook in the pre-market the same way I don't love like Moderna in the pre-market, but 331.50 is the price area that I was looking short at the open, thinking it would take a significant pop to get there, and it would be like a pop and drop kind of thing here on Facebook. It closed at 33, and you have some cover at 335. Sorry, it closed at 333, and you have some cover at 335 as well. Still with the thesis that we're not really bouncing that far in the NASDAQ, and you are getting to a bit of a rub level at 145.5, 14.5 on the NASDAQ futures. I kind of feel like maybe you are going to hold out here. You got about 10 minutes until the open, so this will be on the radar. Because it's at my target range, to want to have been shorting it anyways. Once it opens at 9:30, if we're still in this target area, I mean, I would take, if I can get a chance, maybe grab like 32.5, 33s. I don't mind paying up a little bit or catching it maybe on the way down. But this is not what I was anticipating. It would be like more like a spike thing at 9:30 instead of playing into a pre-market move into the upside. And just I don't know if we're going to get to Moderna here. I want to be fading Moderna in front of its pre-market, the lower high that it's put in, this 322. It's starting to bounce a little bit, so I just wanted to get that one out there. I am only looking to go short in Moderna today, at least until it proves me wrong through the pre-market actual high at 26. But lower high at 22 there. Facebook's already in that target range. Would be great if it does a rally. I think that'd be fantastic for everybody, but I'm still not off the notion that it feels a little bit weak today. And as we mentioned there, a bit of a pullback there in Bitcoin, now 54.2, and BTBT, which I suppose instead of just doing that, I had a chance to maybe grab some shares at 85, but I was just talking through that other trade. It's a little bit further away from that 12 level to maybe chase it down this 10 cents, but that's what I was getting at. Like if you, as it was stalling out at 55 and making that turn after breaking on Bitcoin, you had a chance to maybe catch that top and then do a scalp short. And even then, it's not dropping more than 10 cents here, so that kind of shows you the relative strength. Usually you'd expect it to already be down 15 to 20 cents by now.
Yeah, I mean, just trade BTBT. I kept saying, I mean, BTBT is going to prove me wrong here, but like I was saying, if you're nervous about some of these stocks, I think you can just buy the coin itself. And then a lot of exchanges now have stop orders and things like that, so very, very capable of getting out at certain levels. So, I mean, I would just say, if you're on Coinbase, upgrade to Coinbase Pro, and if you're on any of the other exchanges, you know, you have the ability anyways. So just the only thing I say that is because Coinbase is a very, very like, the app is very basic and there's things like that that's on there. So just, you know, I would just trade the Bitcoin by itself. I did get out some CEI here. I was long 15s. I did take some out at 18 there, and by some I meant 10%. We'll wait to get another 10% out right here at 20 if I can. I'm on the offer right now. We'll see if we get that fill. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for right now. Camber Energy, I still like a break of this 155. That's where my bid is going to be. If that's going to be a halting spot, I believe. So we'll wait to see if it gets, I mean, it should halt before then, but we're going to watch out for CEI. If it does halt, we want to be involved in this, just like we were yesterday. So here we go. Just trying to get some 20s. I mean, we're sitting there waiting. We got to wait. The lineup's here, so we'll wait for that. And if we get it, great. And then just on Palantir, we're 23 cents in the money right now. We took a little bit off, and by a little bit again, 20% off. And then now we'll just wait to see. And just in case this 25.20 is some kind of resistance, I don't think it's going to be, but we'll take a little bit off if it gets up there, and then we'll let this thing blow to 27 today. So hopefully Palantir can get going. And we are watching AMC. I know there's a lot to get to, Brendan, and I don't want to stress him out. But here's AMC right here. Breaking 36 is going to be a key level, so we want to watch out for that. That's on the sticky note. Go to Trader TV Live, Sean, not with a Z, not with two N's, not with two S's, not with like an exclamation mark. Trader TV Sean, spelt the way it is. We put it up a couple times. Valeria put it up. Nightbottle put it up. Can I do a training on how to scale out a trade? Sure. Watch me live every single day at 8:30 till 11 o'clock. Hopefully that'll be training on scaling out. Then again live at 3 o'clock. So Alex Gaspar there, thank you for the question, but that's exactly what I do every single day. So hopefully you can watch it, and Neil as well, and we'll scale out some of these positions, both bad and good. Let's give it back to Brendo.
A few other names to get through here, guys, before we get to the open. About 8 minutes to go. I want to talk about Constellation Brands out this morning with earnings. There's also some of the iron ore stocks, U.S. Steel specifically. Goldman Sachs downgrading the entire group today on U.S. Steel. So X, obviously, the cutting to a sell from neutral. This Constellation Brands report, I was sitting here when this came out this morning, it was interesting. This thing fell $10 initially on the number. So the actual number missed. It goes from 214 to 204, and then they come out and say they increased their full year forecast, and we're right back to basically dead flat here for STZ.
If anybody ever tells you that pre-market trading is dangerous, this is essentially what they're getting at, right? You got to understand liquidity. There's a reason why we always talk about volume in the pre-market and why we stay away from things that don't have it because of moves like this. I mean, Constellation Brands broke through what was a pretty solid 207, 208 support area on that print because, I mean, I guess some bots or whoever decided to sell when they got the front end of that report, and then essentially it's right back in. So you want to be really careful with orders that you have out here. It still has that, I want to say 07, 08 floor on it. Even if you think we're going to be retracing that, panic sells are never the way to go, especially in the pre-market action. I don't see a day trade on this name. I think Constellation Brand gets pretty interesting from a value point. The second it takes out that level and starts working lower on the daily chart, it's going to start to become a value, but the trend is clearly the downside. I mean, it is what it is. When it breaks that 207, things get interesting as it tries to test lower, like maybe in the 180s, 190s, somewhere in this cluster here or above this cluster into that previous top, like 200 if you go to late last year. I think that's where Constellation Brands becomes one of those, wow, just value all over the place, but we're not there yet, and it's not done any volume here in the pre-market. Just very quickly, because you mentioned U.S. Steel, and the entire space, like we said at the beginning of the show, all kinds of relatively weak on the entire space downgrade. It was 5%. It is now only 4% because you had just a bit of a bump in the overall market. U.S. Steel has a big 21 level, which is coming up here. I think it might have a little bit of support down there. If it takes out that level, I'd watch below. Clear shot to 20, which has been a huge level on U.S. Steel for swing plays. So I'm looking at a 21 break, not before I likely have Virgin Galactic, but U.S. Steel not quite there. And it caught a bit of a relief bounce here as the market trying to head back into the upside. So not too much volatility just yet, but watch out below at 21.
Yes, sir. So we're into BTBT now, Bit Digital. So we'll see what happens now. Again, you know what? Like, this is just what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this. We're gonna wait to see if it comes back into here. We'll get out if it breaks through 1130 or something. You know, we'll just watch Bitcoins. I mean, if they're gonna keep on rallying, like I just mentioned, 5-month high on BTC here. I don't know where we're gonna go. This is a 1-minute chart. We just touched we touched 55.5. Look at that rate on. Like, you're telling me that people aren't putting in like stop orders and walls and things like that. Yeah. 55.5, like even to the penny. On a $55,000 asset, is that what we're calling it? You stop on the penny right there on Kraken. This is just the Kraken exchange. I'm sure it broke on other exchanges, and you know, you have a few different pennies, but that's strange to see that. Wow, 55.5 there. Stop on a dime, and I bet you it does the same thing here at 54. So we'll see if we get a bounce back here. I do like Bit Digital here. It's going to keep on rallying, like you mentioned, low float. We'll see if people are going to get excited about something. They're in this name. I worry always, guys, when we talk about this, about profit taking. You were just at $8 yesterday, right? So if you wake up and you're in, I don't know, you're under a rock or something, and you wake up today and you're at 12, you may take that 50% in one day, I guess a day and a half. So we'll see what happens to BTBT here. I like it. We like it back to 1130. I will be averaging it, and I sound like that Micro Machines guy that can't talk so fast because we have Micro Machines. Get your Micro Machines right now. What's up, Brendan?
Little one, bottom end of the list. Lots of Bitcoins today. This is actually crypto related as well, so fitting. LMFA, we talked about briefly there, guys. Volume, huge volume, first off. This thing, if you go to the daily chart, hasn't traded above 560 to 580 until, you got to go back to the spring, May, June, July of this year. It hasn't been above 560. So this is 560 up here. Don't be surprised if we do get a test of that, but it's already fading off. Again, this is crypto related, so other things crypto related moving higher currently. LMFA already fading off, guys.
Yeah, that's good for a pop and usually a reversal type play there. A couple of people saying that XENE raising money, so I think it's a bit of an offering there. And Facebook, sometimes I have to revise this whole rule about not wanting to take things in the pre-market, because when there's volume, it hit the target area. Now it's already flushed like $2. I'll go back to the notion that I'll pick it up if I can get that same move maybe and play off these levels at the open in about 2.5 minutes. We'll see if we can't get it. But obviously, like I said, it was right at that target area, and I decided to wait till the open. Made the same mistake on Moderna previously, and maybe the same thing is going to happen to me here on Facebook, not wanting to take a pre-market trade. Speaking of Moderna, I think it was Sweden and somebody else. They're on the watch list there.
Yeah, it was Denmark.
And Sweden and Denmark. Pulling back on their vaccine. So quickly,
I thought that was a risk, man. These vaccines for kids, man.
It's not a great look, and on top of the Merck news as well with that pill, which is fantastic. It's been under a heck of a lot of pressure. You already had a wipeout bottom below here, so this is not a low break. But we're right on the cusp of like a 317, 316.50. I like 17 because it's a round number. There was a higher low that got put in a couple of days ago on Monday. There was a flush bottom to 05, which provides you a pretty solid target. So that's what I'm looking for from Moderna. Even rolling into a short on a pop, I'm willing to do that as well. Just not really looking for the long here, Moderna. And of course, Facebook's now. It would have been $3, but it is what it is. I don't have the trade. I said I liked it at that price level, but I didn't take it because I wanted to wait for the open, which is coming in 90 seconds.
Jeez. You scared me there. I thought it was
No.
coming even faster than that, but okay. 90 seconds, yeah, good
Yeah, my
call.
bad, my bad.
We did dump some of our Facebook shares at 329.85 off of a 325 buy. Just got nervous, rotated some into Palantir. And I didn't realize this, but I guess we're showing a little bit of our age with micro machines because a lot of people...
That's real old.
Yeah, it's real. Micro machines are the jam. I mean, those things should come back. I think that they would be quite popular. Just little mini cars and bikes and planes and blah, 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 a lot of things like that. So I do like micro machines. And what else do we like? We like hitting home runs, baby. Let's go. So already 10% in the money on CEI. This is how we're doing it, man. Oh, Canada. What's up to everyone here in Canada? Hey, what happened there? That was supposed to be longer than that. Yeah, everyone, welcome to the show. We're rocking and rolling. Look at, oh, this is still BTBT. Look at CEI. Boom, 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 boom. Out here all the way to the upside. Let's see what we can do now. If we come up to 140 and change, we're going to rock that. Palantir. See ya. Let's go, Palantir. Let's go again. We'll hit some cowbells here. As Neil, we only have now 20 seconds to go. But there goes Palantir, man. Wow, what a day. I didn't buy that lottery ticket, but I may do that soon.
Yeah, we have about 20 seconds to go here. That Voyager's come back to that 4 level, but 415 current high on that stock. So we're going to watch to see. It had a 370 key level on the daily chart. If it holds that, resistance turning into support makes a lot of sense to me. Forget about Constellation Brands, don't care about that. But Miss V, we're dropping the bell. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
Oh man, you know what we didn't show? We didn't show the imbalances, man. So I think we screwed that up.
Are you sure?
I didn't, unless you did. I don't think we showed the imbalances, so I apologize for that. For anybody looking for the imbalances, we normally do show those. But here comes Palantir, man. Good out there at 8 as we're starting to crack down. I don't even know if we're open yet on Palantir. I don't see any end prints, but looks like we should be open now as the level 2s are making sense. So big flush on Palantir. Good opportunity to get longer, guys.
And oh, there we go. Like immediately got
the market's gonna flush, I think.
Yeah, this is nuts. I got like a crazy fill on Moderna there, so it looks like it took out the top.
Geez.
I have some locked. Watch out for your quotes, eh?
Yeah.
I got some stuck quotes. But anyways, Virgin Galactic bounces off this 20 level. I was sort of looking at the price. I'm like, we're not at 321 on Moderna. Virgin Galactic bounces off of that 22 level all the way up to 2260. Now, I like 2250 as a bit of a resistance area for the stock. So this is it right here, 2250 to 2260. If it's going to reject and come back below it, I do want to try to short it on the way back down here. I really only want to go one direction. I just want to see the offer hold below. You just watch it.
I won't do that one direction joke again. We did average in here. Bang, right there. Quotes be damned for me. But I think Neil was right. They were a little sketchy there off the open. But there it is right there, man. Look at that average in. We just told you as it was coming down that we're going to take Palantir and we're going to go back to the upside right there with it. And then look at BTBT. Let's go, BTBT. You are my hero today again. We're going to the upside right now with BTBT, and it's rocking and rolling. So this is another 58, 90 cents, 60 cent win off the bottom, even more. So there goes BTBT. Let's see where it goes. CEI, let's go as well. Up to 32. Let's average out on this one. So far, we're rocking and rolling, man. Cooking with gas today to the upside. Good. So far, 3 for 3. Let's find some more names for you, but these are all rocking and rolling. Palantir, CEI, BTBT, all on the long side as the NASDAQ trying to break.
Yeah, the NASDAQ's really trying to go here. My stops are literally not even triggering, but that has to do with my quote issue, so we'll see what happens there. NVIDIA broke that 202 level convincingly. Facebook's trying to get back to the upside. If it pops, $2 more on Facebook. It's right at 332. I'm looking, 330. I'm looking 331 and a half to 332 for an entry. NVIDIA looking hell of strong here, though. If it gets back below that 202, that's the key level. Market looking like it wants to head back into the upside here, but Facebook not coming with it. Watch that for relative weakness. Brendo?
We mentioned the iron ore related stocks. Cleveland Cliffs, the first one to pop up here, guys, on volume. Tag 20 and a quarter at the bottom there. We're right back to pre-market highs for CLF.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, Cliffs Natural Resources. We like that one. Actually, that reminds me about a new core position, possibly. Eni is flushing. AMC is pushing hard. Okay. We will look at all of these, man. But right now, in my focus, really, CEI. We just took another piece out right there. It's a big trade for me, so we're going to watch out for that one. BTBT as well, coming back in a little bit as I'm going to hold on to this one and just hope that, Bitcoin just keeps on going to the upside. And Palantir, we're trying to look at that. Let's look at AMD on this move up here in the NASDAQ. That should be good for AMD. Still, though, down to 101. So, yeah, the tech names are starting to struggle. Come on, charts. The tech names are struggling a little bit here today, but AMD is now equal with the market. So we're going to have to watch out. The reason I say tech names is the S&P right now is starting to go upside a little bit more than NASDAQ. So we're going to have to watch out for some of those bigger names on the big board rather than NASDAQ. But AMD is just following suit. I'm sure NVIDIA also looks like it's probably going. But here we go, man. The NASDAQ now starting to go. So we got to watch out. Palantir fading out. This is called profit taking. changing. I believe there's going to be a bid in Palantir at some point. So we did take some profit, but now we're obviously out of the money. So we're going to have to wait to see what Palantir wants to do. Find some support down here about 24-ish, as we always defend that level anyways.
Oh, one stock that we should get to, and apologies for not getting to this one. You guys asked about GTE. This was on the imbalance locator in the afternoon yesterday. It had been for a couple of days in Toronto. It's dual listed also on the Amex. Been a bit of a runner here on no news. It broke $1 this morning, and it just retook a buck. Remember I said about CEI, dollar is a key psychological level for these penny stocks? Well, it retook that dollar and then flushed all pre-market long. It retested a buck. Failed right here before the open, retested it again at 9:30, and then failed again. So I'm now short this one in front of $1. I mean, it's an easy way of saying if it breaks $1, I can easily get out, and then I'm shorting off of that level. CEI, the first stop that I had for it would have been 140. It looks like it's turned at 133, so not into that one yet. I am back into Moderna. We'll try to hang on to this trade, but I couldn't even execute properly on it. But now the pre-market highs at 325. That's where I want to give that stock to. But GTE, this one trades on the Amex or dual listed in Toronto. I'm trading it here in the U.S. market. So
okay, good. Yeah, so we just BTBT falling a little bit here. We've already cashed out one spot there for a nice 40-cent win or so. No, sorry, 90 to 20, 30 cents. We'll average back in right now on this dip down. So we'll see if it wants to rally back now on BTBT. So we'll wait. We'll wait for that one. We'll just see if it wants to go. My eye's looking everywhere right now. Palantir, Spiders, Apple. I see out of the corner of my eye that a nice coffee is coming. So thank you. To that one. Let's look at Ford. Ford, another name on our list here as the S&P rallying. Thank you, Ms. V. Yeah, wow, Ford, wow, okay. So yeah, negative no more. Ford was negative in the pre-market. Again, it's on our list here. It's a number 3 stock on our watch list. So you can watch that, the sticky note. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't matter. It's right there. We were looking to pick some up lower. That didn't happen. So right now, Ford looking like it wants to take out. It's Investor Day for, damn it, man. All my charts are messed up right now for Ford, but it's Investor Day for GE. GM, sorry, yep. And so maybe Ford moves a little bit on that, but I'd like to get this longer at 14. We just missed that one. Let's go to Brent and get some new names.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that offering for this one, guys, XENE, $300 million offering right before the open, and ho-hum just made session highs there, up 4.5%.
So keep in mind a few things on XENE, I should say. 33.50 to kind of 34 here. It's 33.70 technically, but I think that entire 50-cent range was a hard top on this stock. So it gets anywhere near that in offering. I think that's going to be sort of the go zone for me on that name. And there's a bit of a battle happening in a volume spike here on that Voyager, which I probably got in too early. It stopped out at that 70 mark. This is 70 on the daily. You're going to see it testing 4 one more time, but it is absolutely churning through volume here and doing that little potential rollover where it just tested the high at the open, failed shy of the high, and that's always going to be a setup for me. So it's like that test of the high, 930, fail at the high, try to get back in on the way down. I just grabbed some shorts at 402. It's got a 14 high. I might have said 415 because I tend to round these things to the nearest number. I'll add to this one if I get the opportunity around this 4 level, but clear stop is going to be at that high of the day. Facebook now at the absolute low. I need to change this rule.
Is it?
Not getting in the pre-market on some of these more expensive names is absolutely crushing me lately because it's like $5. Facebook is just tanking right now, Brendan.
Okay, good.
Like,
Another pure mining idea here, guys. Hut on the NASDAQ, Hut 8. Just making session highs, as you see there, on volume. Huge volume for this. 6.5% for HUT.
Okay, we're going to, you said 8 Home Depot?
No, Hut.
Oh, I was going to say Home Depot up that much. Okay. Okay, so we just missed it there. Neil was talking about Facebook tanking. I actually went over there and not forgot about it, but the Palantir trade just went super in the money there for me. So we're going to see, we're long at 60, but I was talking about this part right there, just ripped up. So we can make back some of the stuff that we lost here on Palantir. We didn't lose anything on Palantir yet. We're still holding everything. But this is a nice move to the upside right now on Palantir. And damn it, I just saw it go, pardon my language, I just saw it go right there to VWAP and should have had an offer there, missed it. That's completely on me. So we'll see if Palantir wants to keep rocking and rolling here. Hopefully to the upside, not to the downside. Maybe we just bottom picked right there. Again, this chart just ends at 430. This did go up to 2650 yesterday. So this is not a key level by any stretch of the imagination. It just dropped too much down there. And but now it doesn't look like it matters because it's right back in. So right there, Palantir did have an out there at 70 and we just missed it. So again, we're responsible for all of our trades and that was one that I missed there. So that's my bad. But we're not missing BTBT. We reloaded that one. We took took out another 20 cents on that. So we reloaded it at 87. We just got out at 08. So right there, another 20 cents. We'll see where we go from here, but we only have one more bullet to fire. And if it comes out, it comes out. But right now, BTBT rocking, guys.
And starting to get that rollover on Voyager there, VYGR. It just bounced to 383, so 402 short to 383. We'll definitely rinse and repeat. If I get some shots at this that 4 to 405 range, we'll go at it again. I just looked to gift horse in the mouth, 100% on Moderna one more time. As it just went down to like that 319 bottom. As I try to get the chart up for you guys. It just went right back down to that 319 bottom. I'll tell you how ridiculous that trigger was. So when I got the break on this trade, I literally couldn't even bid out because my bids were not coming out at the correct price. And then it just ran back into the upside. If it takes out 325, I'm all done with Moderna, and it's not going to be a pretty one for me. That GTE, that rejection at $1 is ongoing. It just, and again, you always want to look for that to happen. Like it tests a very, very key level after breaking in the pre-market, shows you at 930 that the buyers can't really sustain it, and now it's fallen like an absolute rock. So I'm short here at 98.5. It's now down at 93. Just imagine if you never traded a penny stock before, imagine it was instead of $1, $10, and you short at $9.80, right? Like it's all psychological at that point. So I do think that this stock is probably going to try to find a bit of a bid. The first thing I usually look to is what's the wick top from before, and I look back to this at about like 88 cents. So if we come back into 88 cents, which also you go to yesterday's action was a bit of a turnaround point, that's where I would look to cover more than half my position, probably 2/3 to 3/4. If it gets there, I'll definitely have some bids in front of 90. If you were short at $10 in a stock, would you be bidding out some in front of $9? I'm sure you would. So same thing goes here when you're short at 98 cents and looking to cover some at like 90, 90.5, 91, 91.5.
Okay, so I'm going to have to change my game plan a little bit here, it looks like. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to have to give Palantir some more room. So, we bought here, and that was just stupid because we were in the money, and we were in the money decently. We're at 60 cents, right? It ripped up to 77 there. That, for me, that was a good win, and we didn't take it. So right now, we're just going to regroup a little bit here on PLTR and see what happens. I was just looking for some levels, and really, there isn't many. Palantir does this, man, and I should have known this, and I should have understood because Palantir gives back a lot all the time. It's such a heavily traded name that this is what's going to happen. But right into here, 24.35, that's right where we are right now. So this is a spot that's a little nerve-wracking. I'm going to use these areas here as our outs, man. 23.75, it's going to be bad if that happens, even down here to 23. But I just don't think that this is a name that needs to be killed like this right now. So I don't even want to get out of Palantir. So I'm going to stop averaging in. I'm going to wait. If this flushes, I don't have that big, I'm nicely in the money today, so there's absolutely no doubt about the trading. It's just for right now, Palantir is starting to hit to the downside, so we're going to wait to see what happens here a little bit lower. So not buying any Palantir, hoping for a relief rally, and we'll see if we get any a little bit lower than this, guys. And
one from earlier in the session, remember Cassava Sciences? Just checking back in on it, it has made a bit of a flush. Since it came with the news when we came on air, it's since tried to push back up into this, 61.5 is going to be the high. 60 even is where it's turned to now. I like 63, I like 70. It lingers any longer, and I think you might be thinking about a lower high at that 60 even. There was a monster buyer, and I put it in the chat there. Just every now and then we'll see things in level 2 we like to share with you guys. There was a big buyer on 323 on mRNA, and the second I saw that order pull, I actually added to my short position. It still has not broken that 326 high of the day, but I got a 22 long. We'll risk about $5 on this trade, and then I'm bidding down here. Well, maybe it's $4 on the trade, I should say. And I'm bidding down here once it's $4 in the money to take some out, and then lower the day as well. So now we're looking to hold on to it. Facebook's still on the low at 326, despite the market coming back up. Brendo.
Hi. If you prefer the little ones, guys, Canon, another cryptocurrency-related stock here, CAN up 4.5%. On volume as well, just making a day high here, trying to push towards that $7 area, which hasn't been there in quite some time for CAN.
So we'll ring the register a little bit there as Palantir is starting to come back. I mean, we're not out of that one, but look at AMC, man. We just shorted that. We were waiting for a 36 break, but that didn't happen. So we'll use 37 as our out there. But right now, we just shorted that one. I think AMC goes lower today. So there we go. We take 20 cents in about 1 minute or less right there on AMC. So there's the short right there into that level, 36.55. We just marketed into this one when we noticed what was happening, coming back down, then giving us a chance to short it on the way back up again. So there it is. And then we get out right there. We sit on the bid for 20 cents. cents. That's 55s out, 34s there. So a little bit more than 20 cents. Now we'll wait for 36 breaker on that one and see where we go. We did talk up Palantir a little bit, and I'm glad we did a little bit there because now we're right back into the money again, back up to 60. So we'll see where Palantir goes. I do have an offer now in this area. So yeah, if we can get out of this, I don't mind doing that. But Palantir right now back, not out of it, just take a piece out. So we don't have to worry so much about it. But here goes Palantir to the backside. We'll see if it can pick up some steam here as the NASDAQ is really rocking and rolling right now, Neil. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad missing AMD. I don't feel bad about getting out of Facebook's way as that's continuing to go to the downside. So that was a good out for me. But right now we're just rocking and rolling, and I'm waiting for Palantir to take off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just reloaded on Voyager, which is, I mean, that short's going okay there. And Facebook's bouncing over and over again off this 326. And with the market strong right now, it's hard to ignore. Look at the wick bottom in the pre-market in yesterday's action on Facebook before it rallied. It was right at the same 326 level. So as it gets off the schneid here, I gotta stop saying it like I'm aging myself with. You have probably never heard schneid before. Anyways, as it gets off the bottom here, no, these guys.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right. You've heard schneid because I say it too often.
Yeah.
But like, it just feels like this should be participating in this rally. So if I can pick something up closer to 27s, which is a long way of saying that, off of this low, and I probably should have executed first and then shown you guys the chart, then I want to go ahead and do that because I've obviously missed out on the short opportunity. We talked about that 331 half, that 332 area, but the relative weakness I think would stop at some point because we're now screaming towards positivity in the overall market.
Yep.
I mean, the NASDAQ is now 0.2% to the downside. Right, and the ES has already gone back to like less than 0.5%. So it's led by the NASDAQ. This bounced back into the upside, and I would think that Facebook holding that wipeout bottom should catch at least a little bit of a bid. I mean, if you can't catch a bid here, I don't even know what to say about the stock today. So I just grabbed some Facebook. We'll give it to that 326 bottom. Technically, the low of 325.92. Okay, so we'll maybe put it a couple of cents below that level, but let's go Facebook. Still working up pretty well in that GTE. I'm telling you, when these stocks go back to penny status, please put your stops and make sure you don't get caught long in one of those because this stock is dying like a quail. We'll get back to that when we come back from Brendo.
Your daily short report today brought to you by DNA in New York. 12% just got flushed there. This is Scorpion Capital, guys, talking about a colossal scam. This DNA, which is Ginkgo Bioworks. So that just got flushed.
Okay. Ginkgo Bioworks. Okay. Palantir just went up to 60 there, and we got out one piece there. I mean, we're still in, and we still got out a 15% there. So we still are into that name. So we'll wait to see what happens here for Palantir. I still think we go to the upside, but it's bugging me, obviously, as you can see the market's rallying here, and Palantir's still trying to get going. So hopefully that does happen for us, and we'll be able to make some money on PLTR. But right now it's just kind of hovering around. So we're going to wait on it. So that's all we can do, right? We could just wait to see what happens to it, and hopefully it goes to the upside, but we just cashed out a little bit there as we were noticing again, relative weakness today in Palantir, but you're already up quite nicely, so no problems there. BTBT unfortunately does wind up coming out there as it breaks the bottom, so we're still net positive on it. I hope so are you guys. Good stock for me, BTBT today, as it's still rallying, but yeah, not taking out the tops like we thought it would, considering that right now Ethereum is rocking, man. Ethereum's at 3,600 right now. Is this Bitcoin or Ethereum? This is Ethereum. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Look at this. Ethereum 3,600 and taking out tops right now. So nicely rallied. BTBT not. So there comes the disconnect. So I'm out of there. BTBT not going. Everything else is. So there we go. We're out of it, and we'll watch to see what happens moving forward here.
Yeah, and like I said, I did reload here on Voyager up in that 4 range, 403. Took a few shares at the 80s, and I'm like, why am I shorting that consolidation? I should probably get more shares closer to that 4 range. Still have a 398 price. I mean, GTE is just, it's essentially a dying quail at this point. So all I'm really doing is making sure that I stick to my rules. And like I said, if it broke that 90 and got to 88, I wanted to have about a quarter to a third of my position left. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I still hold just a little bit more than that. So I'm going to get on the bid probably one more time in the 89 range on GTE. I'm trading it on the Amex, formerly the Amex, NYSE market. It also is dual listed in Canada, but we're not going to show it there. MRNA, despite being, and again, this is the risk of trading expensive or stocks with a bit of a spread at the open. Sometimes if you make a mistake on the stock, you're going to get absolutely burned. We've settled in on this name, at least now. to get the short that we wanted into the pop. So it's held that pre-market high. I just missed getting hit on the bid. You know what? I'm going to cancel this bid right here because it just ran away from my bid here. You can see 3 times 318.50 it's bounced. I was sitting at 318.55 and just missed getting filled. So I'll step it up just a little bit so I can get the cover that I wanted for a third of my position here. I'm not going to be green on it just yet. It's going to have to take out the lows. I mean, you were pretty close. It's going to have to get and take out those lows, but I feel like Moderna's trying to do that here. Again, some relative weakness for Moderna because of their news. That's why we went over to that stock. Facebook, on the other hand, I mean, I don't know what to make of this thing. Whoops, there you go.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So I really did think this many times bouncing off 26, market looked like it was going to go. It tries to get above that 27 area, throw the stop in at the low of the day, and all we're doing is screaming. Like a little downtick in the futures, pulling back a little bit, and Facebook just decides harsh reversal. So I don't know if I want to try this 2 or 3 times. I might just stick to the one and done notion, trying to long a stock like Facebook in today. And then I want to get to this CEI. I didn't want to play it in the middle. It's a great break by Sean. $1 is the level I said. I'm actually already sitting on the bid here at 103 just in case something crazy happens to the downside. Like if it really, really flushes, now I stand ready to cancel any orders if it looks like it's going to halt on me. I never want to get caught in a halt. CEI is capable of that because remember, this cheap, it doesn't have to move that far in terms of actual pennies for it to halt. And that's worth keeping in mind. Like if it comes down here, like that harsh of a move, I actually have to cancel my bid because I don't want to get caught in on a downward halt if I'm in the long position. If it resists a halt band in front of 1, which looks to me like a 118, okay, so it's actually getting close. If it looks like it's about to halt downside, and I have a chance to maybe catch a bit of a breakout to the long when it doesn't halt, then I might jam into it, like just hit the offer and then see if we can't go along. You'll know it when you see it because the bid will stack up, so the offer will stack up if you're looking at a level 2, and it won't be able to go more than 1 cent down. It'll just basically be trying to hit that bid. I am now out of Facebook. That stock is super weak, but all eyes for me right now on CEI, guys, which is falling like an absolute rock.
All eyes on me, yeah. Some Tupac. Yeah, Tupac. We talked about Machiavelli yesterday, actually, and I dropped the Tupac.
That was so random. Yeah, we did yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. All right, so yeah, Tupac. Everybody knows who he is, I'm sure.
If you don't,
whether or not he's alive or not, no, I think unfortunately he's passed away. Okay, so we'll wait now. AMC, guys, there's the big break for that one. I mean, breaker 1.9. Do you read? Because we shorted this a long time. 36.55, and here we go, man. Now we're getting excited. We talked about a 36 break on AMC, and here we go again, guys. So here's a nice little breaker for us on this name. So we'll see where we go from here, but I like it to the downside as AMC cracks that $35. Probably worth holding on to a little bit, so that's what we'll do, and we'll see where we go from here. But right now, 35.90 to the downside. It just cracked it. The last time this happened, we went to 34, so I don't think that's going to happen today, but it could. And again, that's what we talked about. If you're following us, please do so. Either myself or Neil or all of us, preferably, and Brendan as well. I know you're probably following the main account, but here we go, man. This is what we talked about. We talked about Palantir, CEI, long all day. We talked about that. That's made us some money. Watch the AMD 100 level, and there's AMC, guys. Watch out for the 36 break. So there it comes through. We shorted it at 36.50. I know a lot of you don't like that, but we'll wait to see what happens with CEI. And there it is again, Neil, man. We got our 07s on CEI. So there's that bit. Hallelujah. What up, Beep?
Individual tech stocks showing some strength here, guys. Just notice this one. Roku just took out yesterday's high, up 2.6%. Big volume spike there at yesterday's high for Roku.
So a couple of things will go, and we'll hit some keys for why not. We've just broken that 88 low. So like I said, I wanted to have quarter to a third of my position. I actually hold 29% of 28% of GTE left as it continues to flush into the downside. I took some more shares off on Moderna in that little bit of a flush. I still want to hold through a low break, but I just wanted to bank some profit. I mean, I basically just made up for the bungle this morning already. And now if I can hold through the low, we can extend that trade in. The other one that is heading into the downside is that Voyager, right? So initially had a short, got stopped out. And you have to have rules and you have to have a stop. I'm not going to sit there averaging into it. If I average into this trade, I'd now be basically positive. Holding the entire time would work. But to me, that's not really that much of a strategy. Next bids are going to be in front of this 360 level and then in front of 350, and then we'll see how far it can come back. 370 key level on the daily chart, right? So I want to see if it breaks 370 and then start covering on the flip side of that, as I think could trigger some stops down there. Speaking of stops, I will tell you the one that did not come in because, hey, guess who went to the upside?
CEI.
No. Virgin Galactic somehow, right? So, I mean, look, the market's coming back up. That's why it happened. But that 22 level, I like it even more because it's going to be support when the market bounces. So that's going to be a good sign. I still, look, the day that it cracks this, if the market continues to come down, I am going to short this level. It obviously did not break today, and it was only ever a breakdown trade for me. If this sniffs $24, that's definitely a short. There we go. We're now $6 in the money on Moderna, and you guys are headed to Brendan? No? Valeria, sorry.
Hey Neil, Affirm is up more than 3%. Do you guys see any opportunities in AFRM today?
Affirm, what up, Affirm? We'll look at Affirm for sure. I'll look at that right now, actually, as we're averaging into Palantir. It doesn't look like it's doing too good right now, but look at that, man. Look at that bid that we got on a CEI, and I told you we were sitting there. We weren't even on an inverted gateway. It actually went through us there at 106 there, so we actually got that 107. We got paid to get this fill, and look what we did. We just emptied it out. Ding, 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 ding. Upside. That's a big trade for me, so that's a nice win there. Really happy with the way that one's pairing out. There comes AMC back to the downside. We'll hold out for that one. I mean, we're just spinning the wheel today, and it's coming up not bankrupt. So we'll see what it's going to come up. I already know the way this works, guys. It's going to come up jackpot, so don't worry where it comes up to unless we change it. That'd be an evil trick to do to us. Put that the other way. But there it is right now, guys. Big trade right here happening right now. AMC to the downside. So I'm super happy with the movement on this stock as we shorted this all the way up here and then bang it to the downside there. We're getting close to being out of that trade. CEI, we just emptied out of that one. And then here comes Palantir. We talked about buying it a little bit down low. Our average price now is 42. It hasn't been a good one. I think there's a rally coming in this name. But again, it didn't rally off the market move here. And then so when this happens to the market, yeah, it is going to be fading back in here. So I don't know. We'll see on Palantir. This is the slippery slope for me. We're just trying not to fall too hard on it. But right now, Palantir, we picked up some bottom picks. We'll see if we get some out around here. 35-ish would be nice, but I don't know.
Because this is a stock that I haven't looked at in a long time, I'm going to use an old one. That's doing the backflip. So remember US Steel? We talked about the downgrade they got. Look, this is like I was talking about wanting to go short in Virgin Galactic. I own Virgin Galactic. I still have some US Steel from way back last year when I got it, and I've been adding to it, and I've been taking some out in front of 30. But it's just weak today, and you get a downgrade, and you can't really trade your own book, and you can't have a bias towards things that you might own as a day trader. So it broke that 21. We took the short. It immediately flushes into 70. I cover some when it just had a bit of a consolidation, but I'm hanging on to this. Like, remember, there is this level on the daily chart that I believe we mentioned after it took out that 21, right back here at 2050. So I want to see if this thing can get down to that 2050 and break it. Already down 7.5%. So relative weakness. That's why it was on the watch list. Usually we don't talk about the metals too much here, but that's why it was on the watch list today. Brendan.
A couple things. Recent high flyer GROM just popped up on volume. Here's a story on Apple as well. EU antitrust regulators set to charge the company over NFC chip tech. So heads up on Apple. I mentioned individual tech stocks showing strength. This is not one of them so far.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Ape Nation here, but we're smoking this one today as AMC guys. There we go. AMC coming to the downside right now, and again, sorry, not sorry. I mean, we try to give as many trades as we can, and we try to hit the hot names and the good as well. But there it is right there, man. Nicely traded on AMC for me. So we're pretty much out of it right now. We're going to hold that one piece to see what we could do on the downside. So that's 25, 50, 75. I mean, that's this is a big flush for me and a big move. So I'm going to take that. And someone said, hey, Sean, could you do a class on scalping and how to get out? Okay. So welcome. My name is Sean, and I'm a scalper. So is that a right word? Scalper? That doesn't sound right. But that's a... Anyway.
We've had this discussion before. It's a trading term. It is what it is, man.
Probably not a kosher term anymore. But CEI right now is starting to make that move as well. I do want to look at your my Facebook, I guess.
I just wanted to, because we had the question...
It's doing nothing, Neil.
I'm mad at I got wicked out of Facebook, and it's still holding that price area, but we did have the question about Affirm, so I do want to... Yeah, I kind of do want to get to it, because it is up 3%, but a monster break, and I kind of wish I was not looking at this Affirm. I love the company. I'm actually on the bid, well, not here, but I'm on the bid to try to catch some more in front of 100 if it ever does that flush. But look at yesterday's top. This is 115 on yesterday's high. It stalls out right at resistance from 2 days ago, 117, and on the dip, it's holding this 115 level, so right in this target range, exactly where you'd want to see it bounce if it's going to be a continuous move. So thank you guys for putting it on the radar, because I wasn't watching Affirm. I look at this and say, if the market even tries to hold up, because keep in mind, like we've just come back from trying to go positive on the NASDAQ to down 0.75% again. So in the midst of that pullback, a firm is holding what essentially is a higher low at a key level. So that's a shot that I like to take. So I'll give it the buck here, grab into the long position. Of course, I mean, Facebook, I'm probably going to stay away from Facebook at this point. I just feel like it's marching to the beat of its own drum too much to try to fight this name. It just got back in. I got wicked out on Facebook, and now it's back to testing 328. So the read wasn't that fantastic other than thinking it should bounce, but how it did so did not make a heck of a lot of sense. That Voyager, VGR here, guys, now it just broke that 370 level that we're talking about. On the daily chart, 370 was resistance. Now you're looking, it was looking to be support. Once we held that high, we took it twice at 930 for that 930 pop and rollover. Once it breaks 370, we're looking to get out some in front of 360, as I mentioned. I will have some bids in front of 350 as well, just to see how far it can go. MRNA has yet to take out the bottom, but it's getting relatively close. That's that wick bottom that I got bungled in on in the morning, and then we're trying to make it all back here. Well, knock on some wood because I still have the amount left, which will determine the trade. If it does take out this low, this is what we're looking at on the 15-minute chart, right? So if we take out this fresh low here, we're looking all the way down to that 305 bottom, somewhere between 5 and 9 or 10 here would be your target range for that to be put in. So here comes Moderna. It's trying to break through that. I think there's a long way for it to flush. And if the market continues red, that is only going to help Moderna with this position. And I want to be able to hold on to this one. So, you know, after the bungle, it is what it is. I had to figure it out. What you always try to do there is just take a second. I didn't get back into position on Moderna for like a minute or two. I said, okay, well, what did I want as my secondary trade? It was off the high. Let it test that actual pre-market high, then execute. Don't just immediately punch back in because you got wicked in and out of something. Reassess, make sure you're following your rules, and then jump right back on the horse. The more you do it, the easier it gets to do that. And the more we send to Brendan, the more information we get. So let's see what's happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, look at the overall markets here as we head to 10 o'clock. A little bit different today. We usually see either tech leading or everything else leading. It's kind of right across the board right now. As far as weakness is concerned, the NASDAQ Composite 100, 0.8 or 0.9 both right now. But look, the Dow and the S&P 1 to 1.2%. So it's kind of spread out as far as the selling is concerned so far today. The Russell 0.7 faring the best so far here in Toronto, about the same for the TSX. A couple of things we mentioned in the pre-market. If you joined us very, very early, GM, Investor Day, it actually starts, I think, at 10 o'clock, so right now. So we should maybe get some headlines here from this Investor Day, but they did sell it right off the open all the way back to where we ended the day yesterday for GM. The iron stocks continuing under pressure. CLF day lows right now, guys, for CLF. Back over to you.
Market pukes.
And well, yeah, market just pukes. So hang on to every single short. I'm going to try. Look, I had 2 longs and we're in and out on short stops. So if you ever see my style of trading, you guys are watching the show long enough, you know that I like to take trades, sometimes counter trend, and with hard stops, right? This is day trading at the end of the day. So some trades are going to be, I'm rounding in front of a level and I want to hold all day long. Other ones are, I'm playing the bounce play here, and if it works, it works, giving $1 worth of risk to try and make 2 or 3. And when you're doing that kind of a trade, mathematically, it doesn't even have to be a coin flip for you to be profitable. So I fully expect to lose on at least half of those trades. And it also gives me the confirmation, it's not a hedge play, but it gives you confirmation that you can hang on to some of your shorts, which, what am I holding on to? I'm holding on to my shorts in a weak market, and then I'm looking for quick little long plays that are going to work for me. It didn't work in Facebook, it didn't work in a firm, but we're going to hang on to what we do have. Well, actually, I should be on the bid right here on Voyager because 63 has a bit
tanking,
of a.
right?
I mean, Voyager is tanking. The market's actually coming down pretty hard here.
Yeah.
But there was a big buyer. And you know what? One of the things that we'll show you, and I know Prad does a fantastic job of this, is you can actually tell by some of the gateways that you'll see here, and I'll pull up Voyager just so you can see. By some of the gateways that'll post, sometimes you can tell whether it's like day traders covering based on the gateway, like the ones that pay a hefty rebate, like a MEMX here or an EdgeX.
Yep.
If you see those pop in 10, 20,000 shares, and they're actually holding the level, a lot of times that's covering entry positions or covering for short-term traders like ourselves here because they do pay a pretty attractive rebate. BATS does as well, so CBOE. And then if you see those hold up a level, then that means there could be a bit of a buyer. So what do I want to do? If I think it's going to stall at 60s and I'm waiting at 61, 62, and I see those guys buying, I see those orders at 63, well, I'll just sort of join in because they might short-term turn that trade around and bounce it up. So if I'm going to take profit in that range anyways, instead of trying to get an extra cent or two, I'm just going to get out right there at those same levels by going on an inverted gateway, be willing to pay because I'm trying to make gross because I'm short here at $4 and I'm making 40 cents on the trade instead of trying to take 2 or 3. So I'll jump and pay for that fill, noticing that there's bigger order flow that might make this pop back up. And then suddenly, if it goes back into VWAP, I can short these levels at 380, reload the position. That's what I'm looking to do with these, where I'm riding the direction of the trade, as opposed to one and done, get in on a bounce, hope to catch a bit of a relief, and then have a one and done stop order. This is more working in and out of a position, and sometimes you can have the level all you want, but you'll adjust it by a penny or two based on what you see on that level too.
Yeah, and we did the same thing here with BTBT, not on level 2 basis, but adjusting it based on something, and that was that crypto started to fall. And I mean, we got out. We saw the disconnect between crypto. Bitcoin was rallying, and this completely stopped. So look, profit, and look where we got out, right where one of our last spots was in. So we take about 10 cent hit there, and this is why you get out, man. You can't hold things forever. And I think that if you're joining us now, you sort of know that you have outs, and then you don't have to worry about it. This is why we're able to stay positive on such a negative day and going long and things like that. And I bring that right back to Palantir. I mean, like we talked about getting out down there, like we averaged in there, like that's 09s. We just got out at 33, so that's like a 20-cent win there on the backside of this trade, right? And then like Palantir, I'm literally down fees today. Like I'm just down getting some of these fills, and I'm down a little bit on gross, but not really. Like we're long at 33 here. Palantir is by far not done. I mean, we have a low wick bid here of 24.09, so here it comes right back upside. So now we're positive on Palantir. So sometimes you got to wait a little bit and you got to be patient. So I don't know. Look, trade your book, please. That's the number one thing that Neil and I can tell you. And we're here to try to give you some ideas that we're looking at and try to advise things like that. But honestly, like this is rocking and rolling right now. And for me, I'm going to hold it. I do realize that there's some risk in here. But if this is an uncomfortable position for you, then get out. I mean, Palantir, I'm out of the money 8 cents on this. That is not uncomfortable for me. So we're going to hold that and see where we go here on Palantir. We also did the same thing, man. Look what happened on CEI. It ripped right back into some of these levels that we like, 20 cents. So we got 07s and we took it out for the dime, some at 17 there, right? We're going to keep doing that. And now it's coming back in. So we'll just look at all of these outs, man. We took a big boy position and getting it out up here. So that's like what we're talking about. That's how you stay positive, man, in this market. You got to take profits when they're there. So there it is. We're going to keep doing that. On that note, we're still going to be watching Palantir as well. I think that goes higher. So I don't even have, I mean, where's my next offer? Is 46. So we'll wait for that. That's random. I don't know why that is. I'll have to see why I did that. Sometimes when we're on the show, we're just throwing out random prices. I find myself anyways doing that. And then sometimes they fill and sometimes they don't. $100 here holding on AMD, but look at the pullback in. When the market does this, look at AMD. It's basically identical here to the market. There's the market coming back down. Thanks, Lucas, for that. There's the market coming back down, and here's Palantir. It's almost identical, right? So, sorry, AMD coming all the way down. So we'll have to watch out. If you think the market's going to rally, AMD is definitely something to buy here off the bottom. We're already long Palantir. I'm going to hold out on more bids, but for right now, looking like it's good. It's 10:06, and we have Brendan.
GROM, I mentioned earlier, guys, another one that's popped up before on Reddit and social media sites going again today. Remember, this is a 10 million share float on this, so 10.8, in fact, free float for GROM, but absolutely tearing faces off, really. 40% here for GROM.
Well.
And look at Palantir.
I actually just said, oh crap, on GROM, because we don't have locates on GROM. I just double checked. But it's getting to a level, when we last traded GROM, I can tell you it had a parabolic movement almost $7. And when it flushed, I was basically shorting in the afternoon, just right off of this $5 level on the way back down. And it was a good short that I did not hang on to. You didn't see it put in a double top here at 465. So you're right into that range, 65 into $5. That would make a ton of sense for me, but like I just checked, no locates for us, so I won't be entering a trade. Even if it rejects 5 even and turns into the greatest short of all time, I'm just not going to have it until we get some locates. Unfortunately, PROG is not making nearly as strong of a move. It is up 10%, so I see you guys hollering about it, but let's look at the daily chart, guys. We're right back into a consolidation level, which was a previous consolidation before a flush. So I would be very, very careful with this. Getting too excited, because until it gets through, I'd say 55 to 70, this area, here to here, I mean, it probably has more of a threat of rolling over past if it doesn't break that resistance than it does of necessarily breaking out. Grom is obviously more sexy to be trading right now. And just to come back to Facebook, because you can't really get away from Facebook, backing off just a little bit on this stock, it's still very whippy. And I got whipped out of this one at the low. So I'm gonna, just like a firm, like I have a stop, I'm gonna take it out when it gets there. But it looks like it's trying to get back into the upside. And I might look for it to maybe hold above VWAP or something a little bit stronger before I dip into it. The market is still down, however, so I'm holding off on adding any long positions, hanging on to the shorts. Although I will note US Steel here, it's kind of finding a bid off that 2050 level on the 15-minute chart that we were showing earlier. I still think if it breaks that, it should be headed to that 20, which is a big level for it. So gonna give it some time as the market continues to show weakness, about 1% down on both the ES and the NASDAQ. If that follows through, no way US Steel isn't likely headed even lower. So the woodshed does continue. I wish I had it at the top, but it was a 21 break that I liked, so I waited for that to happen.
Yeah, and again, like what Neil and I talking about, you know, sometimes you gotta take the profit when they're there for sure, and that was a good trade. So we're gonna do that as well. Palantir, again, look at it, starting to go now. So up to the 40s. We like you a lot. Let's go Palantir.
Grom's halting.
Grom's halting. Okay, so go over to Neil then.
I'm not gonna get the fill.
You don't have
it?
Shit.
One of the things that, and for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, volatility halts on Grom, but during the 15 seconds before it halts, there's a trade where sometimes you'll look to actually just grab the long, in this case because it's halting up, and simply cover into the reopen, right? The thing that I like, and I don't always take that trade, but I just mentioned that key level to sort of breaking that 5 range. So when it breaks that range to the upside and then halts, to me, you suddenly have some cover. My executions disappear when I go back to the chart, of course. When you break that range on the halt, to me that gives you a bit of a cover or a support level, theoretical support below it. So if you take the 511, likely to open higher. Now, I'm not in the long trade. If it does open higher, I am going to obviously look back to, this is about 670 on that high, the day that we just showed you maybe a couple of minutes ago. If it goes parabolic into this and halts a couple of times, unless it's a downward halt, then I'm probably waiting until like 670 if I get the locates to even think about a short, but I did miss that long into the halts. We'll see what happens when it reopens in probably about 4 minutes, unless it's a 10-minute halt, in which case it'll be about 8 minutes. Or 9.
Grom. Okay, there we go. So Palantir, now we can start to say, good idea holding on to a little bit of this trade, as we still have more than half of this trade, but we did empty it out a little bit here as we're positive on Palantir today. So let's just keep on, having some good feels about this name and hopefully going to the upside more. And I think we just crush VWAP here and then we don't even look back. I really think we get a 25 print in the next little while. I mean, this is, of course, market dependent, and I hate to say that, but honestly, the market is a little bit whippy right now, trying to figure out what it wants to do. On that note, man, we had like, what, a $5 winner on Microsoft yesterday? We took $2 and thought that was pretty cool. So let's look at Microsoft one more time, just in case there is a rally back. I think there's gonna be always, oh, again, trade not showing up. Oh, maybe it is. That's not yesterday. Here's yesterday. Where did we get it? Yeah, here it is. So yesterday we bought and picked, so which is pretty good. We bought and picked some of those levels here on Microsoft. Right here, actually, 286.50 is where we got long, and it ripped upside 287.75. So that's that $1.25, and then you could see it ripping to 290. So about $4.50 upside there on Microsoft yesterday. So we come into today, and we're right back at some of these levels, man. 285, 286, looking pretty strong here for Softy. So we'll see if the market does rally. This is a name that I think you can get back into. Let's just check the 20-minute quickly here on this. Yeah, I mean, we know that 280 flush happened. I don't think any sort of a wick happened today down to 282. We're showing that, but I don't think that happened. So yeah, maybe a little bit lower here in case the NASDAQ does fail, but I'm looking to pick up some Softy, maybe 286 even if that does come through. So that's the next play, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. You got to have some ideas when we go to the long side. There was a point where Facebook actually made the sense to be the first of the FANG to pick up. I think that's come and gone because of the nature of the news that's happened with it. Virgin Galactic, it made its run to the upside, and now that the market's coming back in, I think it's safer to, I hate fighting the stock when it's strong. So I decided not to do that. We're coming right back into that target entry area. The 22 break stands out. We're back below that previous resistance of that 22.50. So if we can hold below 50, I can jump into a short there. You're getting a bounce here on Facebook, which is going counter to the market every chance it gets, right? So it's making its rally after the market comes down because obviously why not? Watch out for that same 331, 332 area. If it gets back there on Facebook, then it feels like the missed opportunity that we had could come back into play. So as I look at that coming back up, I'm looking for a reload into Moderna, and I'm looking for Facebook at the original price that we missed at the open.
All right, yeah, you're welcome for Grom there. What up, Matthew? Thank you for the nice words there on that one as well. And then I don't know. Again, I don't know if people are on Palantir or not here, but these bottoms here at 24 and change. I told you guys when we were dipping down that we wanted to put a real position on if we came to the downside. So that's why I keep talking about it. I'm pretty happy with this Palantir trade right now. So, anyways, whatever. It is what it is. But I like it. So we will just continue to watch out for Palantir. We just took a little bit off there. And we'll see. I think it comes to 25. I don't even have. Just got to make sure. I do have an offer at 65. So we'll still keep that. If we can get some out a little bit on a bump here, if we do, we just took that out at VWAP. We talked about that at 50. We got a 48 bid there, or sorry, 46 offer we took right there. So now we're back upside on that one. Let's check out Palt. Remember Palt? Let's see if that's doing anything now. 800,000 shares. I don't even want to look at it if it's going to do that. MARPS yesterday was another one. Ooh. That's lucky. I didn't know MARPS halted. Yeah, I just went over to it. So I mean, honestly, this was lucky. No, I don't know. Maybe Brendan can find out about MARPS, but right now, when did it actually halt? At 10:13.
It just
wow,
halted.
That's hilarious. I was only looking at MARPS because of yesterday. I have no idea this was going to happen, but there it is. It looks like a volatility halt up that 10% easily from 480 up to 550. Yeah. So that's 10% right there. So that's the MARPS halt. So we are halted on MARPS, and that was a complete fluke. I wish I could predict halts. That would be nice, but I cannot. And MARPS halted right now. So okay, MARPS, you are halted. Let's check out AMC. We did get out of the way of AMC there. I don't know. It might not. Yeah. So it's still flat. AMC, this is where we got out of its way. Ooh, I didn't even notice that. Ripped all the way back up. Wow, okay, so short, violates that 36 again. We get out. This is how we trade, man. Put the money in your pocket and don't let your losers ride. And there it is. We get out. We don't have to worry about that 40-cent bump. That's why we missed it, though. All the way to the upside, and now coming back in is AMC. So a decent trade there. Palantir, 25 cents in the money. We take it out. We're jamming, but I still think a lot higher for them. And then let's check back in on BTBT. Kind of just hovering around as right now Bitcoin 50, is that right? 50, hold on a second, let me get the chart for you guys. 54.1, did it come way back in there? Yeah, so 55.5 was the high, back down to 54.2, so yeah, whatever. Bitcoin bouncing off some of the bond. I thought it was actually worse than that, but it's not. It's 54. I thought for some reason it was 51, but 54 right there. If Bitcoin dropped 10%, you'd hear me yell a little bit more than that.
Yeah, 10%. We'd definitely be yelling. Grom opened back up here, not testing that 670, already starting to come back in off of 6 even. Look, it turned on a dime at 590, but there's no locate. So I could have tried to hit my keys in vain. It wouldn't have made any difference to try catching kind of that short. You have a 508 on a halt price. That's where it halted to the upside. If it can hold this, you might get a retrace, in which case I'd be shorting off of 6 if I had the chance. I don't, so I won't. And then we jump over back. Look, it was kind of random about that MARPS, but where it halted, guys, right at the high of the day, which coincides with a 555 bottom on yesterday's action. This felt like an absolute rock all day long in MARPS, and we just sort of hung on to it. If 555 holds, that's a short for sure on that reopen. And then I mentioned, I don't know whether you guys heard this, but I said I was reloading Moderna there as it just broke above VWAP. So I just wanted to stay net short here as it tried to make a little bit of a turn, put in a higher low. And I didn't scalp any out in front of that low of the day. I was holding for a bigger move. Now I will. Like if I get a chance to get some out in that 316 range just for a quick little $4 scalp, and that's what I'll do on Moderna as we send you over to Brendan. What do you got, bud?
Nice day for Coinbase, guys. Heading back towards day highs here. 3% so far for Coinbase. We were higher, obviously. Initially, but just saw volume coming back in above 246 there for Coin.
All right, Coinbase.
Where's Coinbase?
Yeah, no surprise around Coinbase, but look at CEI, man. I'm just busy tweeting this out right now, and we're doing it again on CEI, guys. I mean, this is back-to-back jacks, back-to-back days, man. That CEI just continues to be, honestly, like punching it in the mouth and just raining down the cash, man. Sometimes it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good, because look at this, man. Straight to the upside. We hit this again, like, wow. CEI, like, bring the cash in, man. Good trade here. We're long at 18s. That's where we're long Palantir. We're long CEI 107. This is 15. This is another 10% move for me here today. Like, what is happening? The month continues, man. The streak is alive. We are just, I don't know. Like I said, I got to buy some lottery tickets, man. Life is pretty good. So we're just, we're loving trading. We're loving this show. We're loving bringing it to you. So right now we're rocking and rolling. Someone just said Facebook is flying right now. Yeah, 330. Wow, big move up on Facebook right now. Watch out to see if it takes out these tops, man. 332. We're going to go long Facebook 332 if that happens.
Yeah, and literally just gonna tweeting out what I said to you guys earlier about Moderna. Like, you always have to get back on the horse and back the plan when things don't go the way that you want. After you take a loss, after you have a keystroke error, it doesn't really make a difference. You just have to make sure that you're always taking your A+ setups, right? And if you're not in the right mindset to be able to do that, then you can take a minute or two. But you do have to jump right back in. It doesn't matter the hit you took. It doesn't matter what the price action was or how nonsensical it may. Whatever it is, I don't care. Like, you could have had the power drop on your PC or something along those lines, and you still have to regroup. And then if the setup is there, you just take it, because that's what trading is all about. You have to take advantage of those moves. Facebook is right in that range, as you mentioned, Sean. We're about 50 cents to $1 away from where I would have targeted that entry point for Facebook. So I missed this price earlier, looking to get it now. I thought I heard Brendan, but no, we didn't hear Brendan. Okay, so I'm looking at about 331.50 was that key level. So like I said, about 50 cents away. We'll see if we can't get this. I might start a bit earlier and just take smaller size on Facebook, just so I don't maybe miss this rollover. So let's see if I can't get some shares in here. Facebook, I missed it once. I really don't want to miss it twice. Really? Come on.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get it here if it rips. I don't know why it ripped there.
Oh, come on.
But I emptied out a lot more Facebook right at these levels. So I'm out of a decent amount of Facebook. I actually sold about half of my position there, but I do want to get back in to the market. I just don't know if they're the right name right now, but they probably are. So whatever. I mean, my cost base, as you may have heard me talk, was pretty low on Facebook. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where it's been. It's about where it's going. And I just think there's some risk there. I don't know. Okay, so Google well below 50, not well below 50 period, but below it as well. Let's check out Amazon. Like, I'm trying to find out names that we have to buy more shares in here soon. Amazon, where are they on the 50 period? Yeah, we're well below there down here. Amazon Games. Amazon at a nice level to maybe be bought here as well on the downside. But hey, lots of stuff happening. So CEI, yeah, go ahead. CEI ripping up.
Just a buyer on Grom. You guys are trading Grom, so I know a lot of people are looking at this. 220,000 shares sitting here at 530. This is what's happening currently. This is what it's doing to the stock, right? So if you see this and you don't have a level 2, you don't want to make the assumption that it's a monster order or an iceberg, but sometimes it just is, and there is a big buyer at 530 on Grom holding it above this whole price. If that were to crack, I think you're going right to be able to test that 5. So alert to Grom, watch out for it. We have no locate, so I can't hit that or short it if 530 breaks. You guys are going to Brendan's small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, a few interesting ones, including CEI on the list today. This one popped up while we were talking in the pre-market. LMFA, crypto related. They bought a bunch of mining machines once again. This thing gave it all back and then some in a hurry this morning. So as soon as the market opened, this thing just flushed. I mentioned 560 up there. Don't be surprised if we test 560. Obviously never happens, but yeah, we're all the way back. This is that 560 level on the daily chart. Pretty obvious for you. Great 1-2 fade this morning, LMFA. Acer Therapeutics was another one that popped up. Just a quick one in, couple outs on the way down. For that one, $3 was the level I was using on ACER. This Voyager is interesting because there's 360 on the daily chart. If you go to a higher time frame, 360, and then above that, this 380. There's some wicks at 380. If it starts to hold 4, there's not much until 5. So there's that window kind of from 4 to 5 on the daily chart. So watch 4 is up here. We tested it a couple of times this morning. So going to be patient with VYGR today. Again, positive news with Pfizer, guys. Back over to you.
I'm sitting here. I actually hit the table. It's like, remember Grom? Grom just halted to the downside. Remember that 530 buyer on the level 2? I'm telling you, man, like the second that buyer broke, it was a straight shot to the downside, right into a halt trade. I mean, this is the most obvious thing you could have ever seen if you had access to level 2. Now, I have no locate. There's almost nothing to be done about this. I mean, if I could have paid for shorts, I would have, and would have been shorting that level all day and looking to see if it broke through. And it just, now it's halted to the downside on GROM. So and this is one of the reasons we talk about this, because you could have just looked at the chart and said, oh yeah, it's got some support at 530. But the nature of that was a single order. And the second that order was gone, this wasn't an iceberg or just a general area the bots were sitting in front of. This was just one order holding the level, and when it was gone, the stock dumped. So I wish I could have taken advantage of it, but you guys got to see it live here. Now Facebook is in the higher end of that range, so this is me patiently adding to it here. So I got some more Facebook. This is a trade I missed at the open. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when Grom opens back up in 5 minutes. At this particular point after the down halt, I would be favoring the shorts if we had them. We don't, so there's basically nothing I can do about it. But I did look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not on my key for it, so probably said it a couple times today, but I haven't hit the key.
Facebook, let's go.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
We just made a nice little bank right there on Facebook. Mamma mia, Facebook. You continue to go to the upside right there. Look at that 332 break. Your boy called that one right now, so there's a good one. We'll scalp it out, and it's going to be hot dogs for everybody today. What a good day this has been today for us, man. I mean, wow. It's been almost a can't-miss day for us today. I mean, the only thing we've been doing is averaging into Palantir. Other than that, man, everything's been hot fire. So we'll get out of a little bit there for 80 cents on that rip, and then we'll just wait to see what happens moving forward, because this right now, big time movements, man. I'm super happy right now with this Facebook trade. So up to 330 and change. We're long right now. There's $1 in the money. Let's go Facebook. Like, yes, sir, man. Fire off more hot dogs for everybody, as this is a good one, man. Let's go, man. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Mind Number. Thank you, everybody there for your kind words, man. We're trying our best here, and I think we're doing it. And on that note, I mean, Valeria, let's go. We're getting ready to call my girl right now. 1,000 likes, guys. Come on, man. I mean, we're here every single day. We're even here on Canadian Thanksgiving. We're here on Monday. Let's get these likes to 1.5 right now. This is ridiculous. 5,000 people watching if you can. This is the only thing that I'll shill on the show. I'm trying to shill for likes. Likes, shares, anything like that, man. Thank you so much. It's been a big day. Let's go over to Valeria.
Hey guys, you heard Sean, it's like o'clock and we really need your help. If you like the show, if you're passionate about trading, and in general, if you're watching us right now, please support the community and smash the like button. We're already at 1,300 and would be super nice to break 1,500. We have 5,000 viewers, we can easily do this. Smash the like button and back to Sean.
All right, thank you, Ms. V. I was busy looking at other things, but right there, yeah, 1.5. Thank you so much. There it is. A roller coaster day gives us a lot of likes. Thank you so much, man. We love the crowd. We love our family here as well. So thank you to Ms. V. They're wearing the black today, so neutral color. So as the NASDAQ, there it is. Wow. Talk about a rocket ship, man. Right back to positive. I like it a lot. I think you can get money into the Qs as well. Like, forget about stock picking sometimes. I mean, if you like the market, you can buy the market, right? So the Qs right there. A beautiful low. I mean, it's just the NASDAQ 100. I prefer the NASDAQ in this environment, this rate environment, but we'll wait to see. And I think they're going to raise rates, which is definitely not good for NASDAQ, but that's why we've hit the downside so much there, right? So Smile Direct, you guys have talked about that, and I will look at it. So shout out to anybody on Smile Direct. I do know that you guys were mentioning that. And
watch out here. Just speaking of the NASDAQ, be remiss not to mention where it is. Yes, we're up 0.06%, but watch 146. It's about this 146.50 to 80 area where there was a bit of a cluster of resistance. And that level for me, I missed the chance to load to get more shares on a Moderna there, but took some more on the Facebook, because if you're at a resistance level and I have a stop above here anyways, then it kind of makes sense. If it's coinciding with level in the futures, I usually like to add to the position because it gives you, I guess, more stability off of this price area. Now, like I just mentioned, I missed a chance on Moderna because that was right here at probably 21s and not the best place to add all the way at the price where I already added at 319. So I've already done that. If Moderna comes down through, I am going to cancel the bid that was sitting at the 16s because I feel 17.5 to 18 is probably where I'm going to be able to get some shares out here. So if I pop like a 318 bid, that's what we'll go ahead and do on Moderna. I'm not trying to ignore U.S. Steel, but U.S. Steel, man, coming right back into that 21. Good. So I definitely had a chance to get this one out of 2050, which was resistance, or support, I should say, other way around. But I wanted to ride that train. Now remember, yes, the NASDAQ is back to positive, but U.S. Steel got the downgrade. The entire sector got the downgrade. The ES is only 0.5% down, so they're actually a little bit relatively weak. So I still would lean, and even in this environment, I would lean into probably adding into some U.S. Steel short. Now, I own the stock. I like the stock. I want it to go up, but at the end of the day, it's still one of the weaker names here. We'll see if it gets off the schneid, but it's still below that 21 target entry area. And as long as that happens, I'm going to favor the short if we're below 21 on U.S. Steel, and it's going to give me a reload in front of it.
Yeah, good, because we just went into Nucor the other day, so that's good to see U.S. Steel. We'll check out Nucor as well. I mean, pick your poison there. Both obviously very solid. I don't have to tell you guys that. If you are watching the show, you know our love for diversification. And honestly, I didn't have any steel names. I didn't have too many plays in the infrastructure bill. Obviously, I have GE. I mean, that's been a big position for me as well, and they should be fine in that as well. So, and then I like Boeing as well. I mean, I think there's a lot of longer-term investments, and we will do a show on our shopping list for sure. We talked about that, so we'll actually talk about it after the market today, after the show today, and we'll figure out when we're going to do that. Okay, so Apple, Facebook. Yeah. Okay, so we were holding that Facebook, man. We took the dollar, we rang the Reggie up there for the dollar, and then now it's coming back to the downside. So I don't know, man. Facebook today has been a good money trade. I know Neil was looking at it as well and had that up and down there. So we'll fist bump it out because I think Facebook's been okay today for many of you. I did sell some Facebook early. It's going to look like that was a donkey move because we bought some Palantir, and that's been going down since we bought it, and Facebook's sort of been going up, although we did sell in here, man. We sold in 330, so right now, $2 on a $300 stock is what it is. I want to get more money into PayPal, into Square. I like the fintech space. I have no idea what the hell is going on with PaySafe, but buy the best of breed, which is going to be PayPal and Square. So I do have more money in those names, so that's what we're going to look to do, buy some of those on any dips, right? So we went into cash on purpose, so let's see what happens now with Facebook. It's still a big holding of mine, but we did dump about, I think it was about 40%. I'll have to double check the numbers where the fills came from, but I think it was about 40%, guys. So not great on Facebook to dump, but hey, we'll see where we go from here. The NASDAQ, a nice ripper today, back to positive, guys.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll dap up because you were just mentioning some of fintech, and I'm going to talk about Coinbase. Lower high being put in on Bitcoin here around 54, and Coinbase at 250. Now, if you're watching the afternoon show, you'll know that I got stopped out on a trade by using the even dollar as a stop, which I should never do on something like a Coinbase, but I did it and I lost on the trade, only to end up being a fantastic one. So same premise here. I will let 250 go in this case. I'm not just going to randomly put a stop order at 250.01 and when that prints get wicked out. With the lower high in Bitcoin at 54, if we're not breaking out through the high of the day, on Bitcoin, and we're below that 250. It's almost a trade you got to take as a scalper. I guess we're using that word again. Yeah, so it's all the way back.
Wow,
it went
okay.
up to 250, down to 242 higher low, and right back into 250. I got 49.29 here, kind of an arbitrary price, but I just sort of made the offer. I just hopped on the offer when I saw it reject that 250 level. If it comes back in, I definitely want to get some out in front of like this 247.50, like this clump here, and then some out in front of VWAP. This is more of like a pull back into VWAP style trade here, so we'll see what happens. But I have to keep my eye on spot prices, right? Like there's no way I want, I'm not hanging on to this short like an idiot if we're breaking out through 55,000 again. That would kind of be reckless. So not going to be doing that with Coinbase. Thank you, John Kernan, for the super chat there. Brendo, it's 10:30. What we got, bud?
Yeah, exciting guest coming up, guys. We had this guest on prior a couple of times. Let's show you. Here we go. We're going to talk to Josh Schmidt, first off, from the Neo Exchange, talking a little bit about a product listed on the Neo Exchange from CIBC. So Elliot Schur coming through as well to talk about CDRs. You may be familiar with ADRs listed in the US. This is the Canadian version that was started back in the summer with big name tech stocks listed as a CDR here in Canada on the Neo Exchange. So I won't tell you too much more. Just come back in 15 minutes. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, let's get a check of what's happening over in Europe. What's up, Miss V?
Hey, Brendan, European markets are negative. HSBC Bank trading in London is up more than 3% after UBS upgraded the stock to buy. Back to you.
Yeah, we're trying, guys, to maintain some positivity today.
And the market is hella maintaining this positivity as we just dipped down and then ripped. So the dip and rip in the NASDAQ is on right now. Facebook just took off a little bit again. We almost got out there, man. 332. I was looking at that and was like, yeah, we're going to hold or what are we going to do right now? But thank God we didn't do anything because Facebook now making, again, testing new highs. I mean, if we can come back up here, man, 334, then that's going to have to be an out for me. So we're looking at Facebook to get out if we do crack through that 334, or up to 334. If it takes out even 335, 333.50 is going to be a good fill for us, $1.50 in the money. We'll just keep the train rolling, man. I mean, that's what day trading's all about. When you look down at your account at the end of the day and you're green, that's a good day, man. So we're going to keep watching that. Watch out for Facebook highs, but I am looking at this low here. It's about to crack right now, so just watch out. And it's not going to be a strong name. We're at a 2/3, so we may get out of the rest.
Yeah, and just Voyager, by the way, I think I mentioned that I was going to reload something in front of VWAP, and apologies if I didn't, because I did get that fill just a few minutes or so ago, like 10:25 here. I'm not going to be adding too much more in this price range, just because if it does pop in, I mean, the money short's at $4 where we originally had it, so we'll see what happens with this. I see people talking about Alibaba And again, I know it's a Canadian thing, and I always say apologies for not getting to that symbol. But this one we actually were talking about in the chat before the show came on. It's up 1%, and I'd love to say I'm super happy with it. I know Charlie Munger was doubling down on Alibaba and all that talk, and someone was asking whether I still had it or I'm going to be adding to it. I only have the shares I bought at 162 when I didn't take any profit. It was up like 10% in a week, and I was like, no, this is it. Alibaba's making the turn, and now it's at $1.40. So $1.40, $140. So obviously that was not correct by me. We're getting very close on the daily chart in Alibaba to that 130 support. This will actually draw back far enough because it goes quite far back. Trust me, you guys, if you own the stock, you probably already looked at this level. So 130 it's not a line in the sand for me because to me, it's more of a shot play to hold for the long term. But I want to add it in front of 130. And I kind of get the feels that after this rally is done, I might be doing that, in the upcoming days and weeks on Alibaba. It's getting close. It's trying to make a move, but only 1%. In the context of what has happened to this name, this is not much of a bounce, right? Like, let's be honest about it. You know, like you can be happy about it, but until this makes like a 20 to 25% recovery, you're not going to see me get too excited about any green day on Alibaba. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm stuck there 200, so we're going to wait for Alibaba, 102.20. You know what, I think AMD, I'm just looking, oops, I don't even have it on this chart, I have it on my other charts. I like AMD here to run more. I mean, why not? It's starting to go a little bit here anyway, so we'll see if it can go the rest of the way. AMD, 102 and change. If it takes out this like 102.30 and change, you could be off to the races here, but the NASDAQ has lots to go. I mean, we're only flat. So the NASDAQ can be up 1%. We've seen that. It can move that 1% in 10 minutes. So, watch out for that level. If that level does come out and break, we did dump out. I mean, this is probably not going to be a good out, but we got out once it broke through 50. So in there, we lose 50 cents on the last third. We talked about getting out 2/3 there for the buck. So that's a win-win for me on Facebook as the market coming back in. I do want to buy some PayPal shares around 260. So I do have a bid there. So if it comes back in, we will get that right into this area here. This is for a longer term trade. So I like PayPal here. I just think that you got to buy the best of the best. You know, I'm stuck on PaySafe. We've talked about that. I can look at PaySafe. What is it, $3 yet? Let me see. PaySafe is going to be a name where at some point I'm just going to pile into this name. It's not moving. I mean, it doesn't do anything. It's just hovering around down here. I'm still waiting. I think it was November 10th is their earnings report. And I mean, this is about as sick as a dog as you can find. And then I have those lotto tickets on Clover, waiting to see if that can do something. Ooh, a nice little bid off $7 again here today. How low did Clover go? Clover, SoFi, there's a few names that I believe are going to be stronger in the future. And I believe that on PaySafe as well, but I just think Clover's in the right space. I don't know what's going on with PaySafe. I'm waiting for that report. But I think Clover's in the right space and it has the opportunity to bust out here. Obviously a recent SPAC, same as PaySafe, same as SoFi, and all of them are just getting hit here in the weak environment for growth stocks.
There's so many, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of stock where it's like you love what they do, but
yeah, it's just not going.
It's going to be hard for the share price to reflect it. I think Clover's in that space. I think that's going to be true of Lemonade for sure, which you guys I probably talked about being in. Facebook here, I took my first out in that 331 range. We rounded it right into yesterday's close prices, and you're going to get right here. It doesn't break through, so now I'm going to be bidding again in front of 30s and bidding in front of 28s, and then seeing if we can hold on to the low. So bungle the bottom pick, which obviously was right, but I mean the way it was trading, it just didn't make sense to me. The timing of how Facebook decided to make its run, so it is what it is. Now it's making a little more sense to the short side, but a bit of a different trade. Like, I'm sort of willing to hold this all afternoon if I have to, or all lunchtime at least when we go into memes and movers. You might see me still in this trade as long as we're holding those highs. The market seems to want to get to green on the NASDAQ and then reject it at that level we were talking about on the NQ, and then the ES about, I guess, 0.5% to the upside before it starts pulling back. I did take some shares off on Moderna to bank some profits. And as I mentioned in US Steel, I was looking for a reload. .NF. What the heck is .NF? And why do I keep making that same mistake? Anyway.
I think that's our New Zealand or something. I don't know. We'll find out.
So sometimes this happens to you, and US Steel is probably like 5 or 6 on the stocks that I'm trading in terms of where I put it on my level 2s to focus on. And then this will happen. I said I wanted to get some shares if it popped close to 21. I'm sitting here at 89, not realizing all that I had to do was cross the spread or drop down a penny or two and get that fill. But because I'm not paying enough attention to the position, and this isn't an excuse, this is just the truth, because I'm not paying enough attention to the position, I missed that re-entry point, and now it's retesting the lows without me. So there's an opportunity cost to trading as many symbols at the same time, as you'll see. And it's great, like all the shorts are in the money right now, but that was a definite missed opportunity. Like if I was only coming in today saying, okay, relative weakness in the metals, downgrade in US steel, this is the one I like, a 21 break, and that's your only trade, then it would not be excusable to miss out on reloading a position like that. You do that, and you're just shooting yourself in the foot, right? The same thing like Facebook. Like on Facebook, if my only thesis today was to buy the dip on Facebook, then it would be inexcusable to get wicked out at the bottom. But the style of trade that we usually put on here, we're working in and out of positions, sometimes averaging into levels and trading 5 or 6 at once. Yeah, sometimes you'll have a hard stop and it'll look pretty ugly, but the idea is to be positive on 5 of like 6 stocks, or 5 of 7, or 8 of 10, or whatever it works out to be. And sometimes it'll look pretty ugly on the individual positions. But if you're only trading 1 or 2, you've got to really tighten things up a heck of a lot more, not miss those reloads, not miss those entry points, because at that point you're missing your 1 and your 1A, or your 1 and your 2, your A and your B setups. Here, I'm trading 5 or 6 at the same time, so you can get away with it. Facebook, as usual, runs away from a bid at 330. But as long as it wants to continue to reject off of that high, we'll play it back into VWAP here and see what happens. I mean, my average price was a 31.5. It's going to say 32.5 because of my last entry points, but realistically, it was right in the middle of that 30 to 33 range where we took that short. So as it breaks that 30-30, that's where I want to start getting more shares out.
Something I can get behind here today. Today's menu for lunch: Italian roasted sausage with sweet peppers, onions, and roasted potatoes.
What? Really? That's legit.
Let's see if that's legit or not. So that'll be coming through. That's going to be lunchtime today. But over to trading, as we are a trading show, not a culinary show. Our good friend Josh Schmidt come through from NEO. He's a great guy, if those of you don't know him, but let's hear what he has to say. Big news happening at NEO, and I know Josh personally, so I'm excited to hear what he has to say. That's going to be coming up. But we've been bottom picking Palantir, right? All day, boom, 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 and taking outs. It's always nice when your outs are above your longs, but right now, this could be the trade that eventually sends us down. Neil mentioned you can't be positive on every stock. Well, I'm going to try to go 8 for 9 today, and then Palantir is going to be the only loser on board. 6 for 7, sorry. And we'll just see what happens here. We'll see if it can make it back to the upside here. Around 22, I mean, if I can get this out here, that'd be fantastic. But right now, Palantir, we got to kind of hold that out to see what happens. And then CEI, again, good trading today. Long here, out at the top. This is your definition of scalping. So the exchanges would like this because, speaking about NEO exchange there, the more we scalp.
They love it.
Exactly. The more action coming on the exchange.
Actually, to be honest, we probably don't say this enough. Like the actual exchanges themselves, when you get the volatility and volume in the market like this, like they make money off of it. It's a good business, and they're going to be listed as well. So they're not horrible investment opportunities, right? So,
yeah, no. If they're public companies, they have NASDAQ, CBOE, things like that. You can get involved with as well. So, but yeah, look, super excited so far today. It's been a great day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll just continue to make some trades for you, and hopefully, show you some excitement on board. Right now, look at CEI. It may halt here. I don't know. There's a big bid right now at 13 on CEI. 150 million shares cannot be ignored. A big bid right now. 150 on the day. Sorry, that's 500,000 or so on that bid. So watch out there at CEI. Just found a bid right there, guys. We have Sector Watch right now. What does that board look like? Yesterday it was all blue. Today it's red. No happy for me, that's for sure.
No.
We'll throw it to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, it is red, but an improving situation. So this is going to look a lot worse than what the market overall is saying, 0.5% to the downside. But we've come off the lows on a lot of these sectors, including front and center here, the financial group. So some of the banks were a lot worse off when the day started, but they are starting to recover. Same story with the insurance companies as well. We're much negative or much more negative than they are right now. Starting to bounce back here. There are a couple already in positive territory. MKTX here in the diversified group leading the way. Energy and material stocks, we mentioned both under pressure today. Oil down now. You're going to find all the iron ore related stocks down now. The price for such moving quite lower today. Healthcare stocks under pressure as well, led by, where is it? There it is, Moderna, 3.5%. Industrials, consumer discretionary. Again, the industrials group was significantly lower than it is right now. Again, starting to recover in the capital goods sector. Here's all the airlines here. 4.75% for AAL. We mentioned, if you joined us right off the bat this morning, downgraded by Goldman today for AAL. So all the airlines to the downside. MKTX here, 5%, now leading the way in the financials group. Tech stocks, though, leading as well for the overall market. A bit of a red day, guys, but again, we've come way off the lows from earlier on. Back over to you.
And yeah, there was someone, I don't know why Dune came up in the chat, you guys, but someone was saying, I bet Neil is a Dune fan. I mean, if you watch the show long enough,
I don't even know what Dune is.
I'm a gigantic nerd. So I've read the book like 3 times, and I've seen the actual movie back in the day with Sting, like probably at least 3 or 4 times. And yeah, when the new one comes out, it looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if it's a science fiction, you can probably guess that I'm all over it. I'm literally watching Foundation, and this is the geek in me because I've read that series, and it's like 9 books, like 4 or 5 times. I'm currently going through it again, and I just paid for Apple TV so I could watch that series. And next will be Ted Lasso. I was waiting for Foundation to come out.
Yeah, my
so
wife
could get
was
Apple TV.
the last Ted Lasso. No, she thinks it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's getting to be a little drama
really?
for me, but I like. Anyways, Ted Lasso's great. I mean, the last episode, I think it was the last one. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but just watch it. I like it, but I like more the comedic side of Jason Sudeikis.
I keep forgetting this.
Jason Sudeikis. Ooh, Bitcoins.
I'm only saying that because I took some Coinbase out in front of that 48 level. But.
Okay, good call. I think Jason Sudeikis, I mean, great. He won some Emmys there. Great. Saturday Night Live, love it. He's going to be hosting, I think, soon. Owen Wilson was hosting last Saturday, but I fell asleep. So I didn't see much of it.
Isn't the fight this weekend?
I don't know who's doing it this weekend. I know.
Or is it next weekend?
I don't know. Jason Sudeikis, I think.
No, I'm talking about the Fury fight. You said.
Oh, Tyson Fury? I don't know.
I don't know why that came to my head.
I don't know why that came to your head either. Okay, Microsoft. Wow, Microsoft 290. We talked about this yesterday, man. Buy the high quality names in this NASDAQ route. And NASDAQ route not really happening, guys. We're just flat now. We were down that 1%, 1.5% when I tweeted that out this morning. And I tweeted it out and I put a video up. So if anybody, I think it got some decent views there. We'll go back to trading here. We're just getting ready for our interviews. But we put out this video out right now. I'll put the link up. And we talked about the this is me coming into work here. We talked about it, 52 likes, not bad. But we talked about what we thought about the NASDAQ and where it would possibly go. I thought there'd be buying opportunities this evening. Not this evening, but in the afternoon. But it looks like the buying opportunities came early and often, as you could have had Microsoft down here at 286, ripping up to 290 and change. So watch out for Microsoft and Palantir trying to hold out, man. Trying to hold some of these bottoms. We're not heavy into this name. We like to get a little more long if we can come back in to some of these levels, 23 even. But I knew this would be a little bit of a sour day. Didn't know it, or else I'd be short. But once Palantir didn't go off the open, we really lightened off, and you can notice that a lot of these plays here. These are not big positions. We've emptied it out. So right now we are holding on to Palantir. It will be a loser today, but for now it is what it is. Is that a call for the guest of the day, guys? So we'll throw it over now to Brendan for our guests of the day.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, as we mentioned, we are thrilled to have once again the CEO of the NEO Exchange, Josh Schmidt, with us once again, and from CIBC Wealth Management Solutions, Elliot Schur, Managing Director and Head of Sales at CIBC Wealth Management Solutions. We're going to talk today, guys, about CDRs. We're excited to have both of you on today. Good to see you both, guys. When we spoke last, Elliot, good to see you. Back in July, this product was just being launched in the Toronto market and came to market with some big name tech names, Amazon.com to start. People might be familiar with ADRs south of the border. There's a very similar product here in Canada in CDRs. Since then, since July, CIBC also introduced Tesla, Google, Apple, and Netflix. We're happy to announce today the next 5. Let's talk a little bit about what people need to know, Elliot, about CDRs.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a really exciting 2 months since we last spoke. Amazon.com got great reception from the market, and we quickly followed up with that with the Google and Tesla, Netflix, and Apple. CDRs are quite simple. It's a Canadian security that allows Canadian investors to invest in global stocks in Canadian dollars on a Canadian stock exchange, the NEO Stock Exchange, with an embedded currency hedge, so a built-in currency hedge. We've seen great response from the do-it-yourself investor channel. So your client base here. We've seen fantastic adoption from the advisor community, active trading every day. I heard the analyst before here talking about Microsoft and Facebook. Those are two of the 5 names that we just added to our roster of CDRs, and we're really excited for the future. If you want to compare it to ADRs, it's a very simple comparison. That was our inspiration for creating CDRs. We have the additional benefit of the currency hedge. So that's basically the only real difference. ADRs are a vehicle that foreign companies use to raise money in the US. So here we're doing it for Canadians. So it's foreign companies listing in Canada. Canadians can already buy Microsoft and Facebook, but they can't do it in Canadian dollars. They can't do it with a currency hedge, and they can't do it with fractionalization. So those are kind of the real key differentiators between ADRs and CDRs.
So as we said, we are excited to announce the next batch of names. You give a couple of them there, Elliot. Let's not keep them waiting. What are the next 5 coming to?
Yeah, sorry, didn't do that intentionally. So we've got Microsoft and Facebook, which I mentioned. We've launched Disney, Visa, and PayPal. So those are the 5 in addition to the original 5. So that doubles our lineup to 10. We're not stopping here. We've got lots of additional CDRs that we're going to be launching in the future. There they are, the 10 that are listed. The tickers are very simple for our viewers here to recognize. They are the same tickers that you can use to find the US securities, save for Facebook and Visa, because those tickers were already used in Canada. So for Facebook, the ticker is FACE, F-A-C-E. And for Visa, the ticker is Visa, V-I-S-A. It's everywhere you want to be.
Josh Schmidt, President and CEO of the NEO Exchange, here to give us the exchange side of things here when it comes to this product. Josh, give us from a NEO perspective what this means for the exchange to have, such big names, global names trading on the NEO Exchange.
Yeah, sure, Brandon. And first of all, thanks for having us with you. Always a pleasure. From a NEO perspective, I would say when CIBC and Elliot came with these products, with these CDRs, we were extremely excited immediately. And I think the reason for that is, as you know, we are all about innovation. We're all about doing what's right for investors. And this product really fits 100% in that category. Yes, as Elliot said, it is inspired by ADRs, but it comes with some core characteristics that make it very unique and that help, in my eyes, Canadian investors to have access to those large international names, and even just provide certain investors with access, investors who are not able to, put the large amounts on the table that you need for some of those securities. Think about the size of Amazon. So we're very excited about that, and I think that for our exchange, it's an opportunity, of course, to continue to come with innovation, to continue to come with new products and new ideas, but give credit to those who deserve credit. This is a CIBC offering. I think they are the ones who really came up with this, and we were there to act as their partner and make this possible in the most efficient possible way. So. That's what I would probably say is NEO's view on the matter. And I think it's going to be very exciting because, they're not there to stop, more to come.
Joss, from the trading community, short-term trading community specifically, we're looking for quality of volume, quality of order flow. What does the NEO Exchange do and provide on a daily basis to, ensure those characteristics that are so vital are present every single day?
Yeah, I think probably the first point that I would put forward, and I'm going to tie that back here to the CDRs. Like a product like a CDR, as you know, like an ADR, is derived from an underlying listed security. In this case, the Amazons, the Facebooks that are listed in the US. So to provide quality liquidity in that market, you need a quality market maker. And I think that the CIBC there again is doing a phenomenal job. If you look at the tracking between the CDR and the the underlying securities, it's extremely good, extremely strong. And that is because the market maker is doing a great job. Now, for that market maker to do a great job, he needs to have the skills, the capabilities, the technology to do it. And we all know that in today's world, you are competing with other parties who are also trading in the US in those markets and who may have a speed advantage and can try to take them out when they quote. Well, one of the features in our model is a speed bump that allows to level the market, level the playing field amongst all players, and that protects also the market maker. So the market maker is in a better position to quote better and larger size. The second point that I would make is probably related to who is in that market. And I'm sure Elliot can share much more information about that, but we see a lot of retail flow. We see a lot of flow coming from financial advisors, investment advisors. That is quality flow. That is people who want to take a position in those stocks. And I think that there's there for me also a clear opportunity for the day trading community to trade with them. And there's no concerns about liquidity, because at the end of the day, the liquidity of the CDR is driven by the liquidity of the underlying stocks. So I think great opportunities for the day trading community. And look at the market, like you guys were talking about it earlier. The market for the moment is getting extremely volatile again. Think about the 10 stocks that Elliot mentioned. Think about how those stocks have been behaving in the last few weeks, and you can just see all the opportunities that are there for the day trading community.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more, Elliot. Let's give that community specifically. Joss mentioned, a lot of retail order flow coming into these products specifically. What do people need to know when it comes to, you mentioned a few to start things off here, but what do people need to know about this product? What are the benefits really for, a Canadian investor investing in such a product? Yeah,
so Joss hit it on the head there. We're getting great adoption. I think right now we're seeing about 2/3 of our flow from the day trading community, from the people on the discount brokerage platforms, and they're seeing definitely fantastic execution, which I'll get to in a second. But I'd say the three key benefits. The first one being the fractionalization. So if you want to invest in Amazon.com, the US listed share, it's $3,500 per share. That's hard to get in a lot of portfolios. It's even hard for advisors, portfolio managers, to put across their book because of the smaller size of some registered accounts as examples. So by using a CDR, we were able to create a fractional concept through something called CDR ratio. And basically what that means is that for every X number of CDRs, that's equivalent to one share. So as Amazon.com, when we launched, it was 200 CDRs was equivalent to one Amazon.com share. So we basically fractionalized it to 1 to 200 ratio. Huge benefit there for investors. Second one is the built-in currency hedge. That's a risk that people before this weren't able to manage. Currency hedged ETFs are very, very popular in this country. Clients are looking to diversify their portfolios outside of Canada, and Canadians are just predominantly overweight Canada. And part of that is because they don't want to convert their currency and they don't want to take on more currency risk. As the US dollar continues to strengthen, a lot of advisors and clients alike are telling us maybe they're going to take some of that risk off the table and move into the currency hedged CDR. And you just had a chart up there a second ago. There's two lines on that chart. You can't really even tell that there's two lines on the chart. There's an orange and a white line. Actually, this is the intraday chart comparison. This is a fantastic one as well for those who are looking for execution. There's an orange line and a white line. This is the tick by tick comparison. This one is the end of day comparison. And you can't even see that there's two lines there. That's how strong the execution is. So you're just getting the return. If Amazon.com is up 1.4% in US dollars, you're getting it up 1.4% Canadian dollars. The tracking has been excellent thus far. And then the third key benefit here is that it's all denominated in Canadian dollars. Your dividends are denominated in Canadian dollars. And our investor base, our clients are Canadian and they live in Canada. They spend Canadian dollars and they make Canadian dollars. So their investment portfolio for the most part should be in Canadian dollars. So the more that we can help them do that, the better. And by doing this, they avoid and eliminate the need to convert their Canadian dollars to make investments in Apple and Google, et cetera. which reduces one, an administrative task, and two, a cost. So really strong feedback that we're getting from the media and from the client base. So hopefully that just continues to result in more adoption. We're really excited. We think that this can revolutionize the way that Canadians invest in global companies.
Elliot Schur, Managing Director and Head of Sales at CIBC Wealth Management Solutions. Great information as always. Josh Schmidt, CEO and President of the NEO Exchange. We appreciate your time, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. Best of luck with the new CDRs.
Thank you.
Good to see you both. There we go, guys. Another batch coming to the NEO Exchange. Tech names.
Absolutely, and look, in this market environment, obviously for Canadian investors to have that opportunity is a fantastic one. Like the timing, we're actually talking about before the show, the timing of that was absolutely almost perfect. If you think about when people are looking to buy the dip and all kinds of things, and volatility is here. I saw some people talking about Grom, so a couple of things. We only have about a minute or so to go. Watch out, Voyager is headed back up to that high, going to be shorting in front of the high just like we did before, but Grom is absolutely falling like a rock. At this point, it's hard to imagine it doesn't get back down towards that low of the day. I think shorting it pops in front of the whole price could make some sense to me. The market got back. The NASDAQ came only 90 seconds ago. The NASDAQ came all the way back to the upside to go positive briefly, and then sort of teetering here again. I'm still holding on to half my Facebook as it has not come all the way back just yet. So interesting day. We're going to be obviously headed towards memes and movers in about a minute or so. I kind of get the feeling here, Sean, we're going out on a limb.
Yep.
That power hour is going to be a big determination as to how the day goes for tomorrow, because that's what happened yesterday, right? Like we sold off at the close, and then you saw overnight, and then what happened here in the pre-market. So if we can sustain this bounce, that's what we'll be looking for sure here. I know we usually go to Miss V to see what national day it is. Let's see if it's another tasty one.
Yep.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, I hope it was a great morning for you. Thank you for spending it with us. Thank you for all the nice comments, for all the super chats, and welcome all the new members and new subscribers. Also, guys, thank you very much for 1,700 likes. We appreciate your support a lot. Well, me and Prad are super excited for you to join Memes and Movers show right after. And happy National Noodles Day, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we're spitting that money out of that one. We'll spend all our money on noodles. Yeah,
noodle.
definitely. Yeah, anything. I mean, the soup, the ramen. I mean, fantastic. I mean, let's just rock and roll that.
That was in Squid Game, obviously, but
easy on the Squid Game. We gotta keep that undercover. But no, a lot of people like Squid Game. There's another one there, Prince. What was that other one called?
Oh, the one.
Oh,
Alice in Borderland. Like if you like Squid Game,
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Borderland came out before. Like so, I've seen all of that one. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching. I'm not even fully through Squid Game, but I'm getting there. It's a great show.
Yep.
But yeah, ramen noodles. I mean, if you've never had those and you weren't a student at one point.
I mean, Brendan, I'm gonna say is for said noodles.
Of course. Yeah, no, total coincidence, but I'm planning on doing a stir fry tonight with said noodles. So.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Love the stir fry. We had couscous last night with some falafel. That was very good. Shout out to my wife, not the wife, my wife. I got in trouble last time by viewers for calling it the wife, but is it my wife I like?
There you go.
So anyways, there you go. Let's throw it on that note, Neil.
Why not? On that note, been a fun one. Thank you guys so much for the support. But hey, you get to go straight over to Trader Pratt and Miss V. Time for some memes and movers. Lots of those.
Welcome back to Memes Movers. I'm your host, Trader Prad. This is the beautiful Miss V here in the all black today.
Thank you, Brad. And hey, guys, we're super excited you are with us. Please be active on the chat as usual. Ask us anything. Write what you trade and how's your day going. And of course,